Hey everybody, this is Curt. Hennig was the best. Changed my mind. I'm your host, Steph. We're here for episode bonus content, and we're going to review the Sandman. Now, this is the first time I've ever reviewed an ECW guy. I'm not really ECW, but I got two ECW guys with me over here.
ECW. Sorry.
No, absolutely, go for it. We had Sandman's Dark Side of the Ring this past Tuesday, and I wanted to review it because I know, first of all, Kit, this is a big thank you for actually going forward with your kilt week. If we could see the kilt, please have the kilts.
Hold
See,
on.
look at them cute little knees.
Oh
Hey,
wow!
folks. Wearing a manly man's kilt, and I gotta tell you, actually, hold on, I can't because I got the headphones on. So hold on, I can't. But actually, I really like this. It was fun doing the show. You know, I made a promise to my viewing audience, like, hey, look, if we get to like 50,000 subscribers before the end of this year, I will wear a manly man's kilt for 7 days. Now, if we get to 100,000 before the end of 2024, I'll wear it for one whole month. The only stipulation is I got to have the weekends off. I can't just work straight on 3, or I will go crazy because, like, here's the thing. I work Monday through Friday, right? And then Saturday, Sunday, usually weekends sort of like my day off, just a little bit, give or take. And then now I got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's like, oh, okay, well, I got to go. So I'm really looking forward to the next weekend where I'm probably just going to lie down. I'm going to get done with all my work, all my stuff, and not lift a single freaking finger for that
Drink
entire
some beer, drink some, or have some bowls, and
yeah.
do what you got to do.
Yeah, smoke a bowl, and maybe cook myself some. Because right now I actually went to Costco and I bought myself some ribs there, like a
Nice.
Yeah. But see, at Costco, like here's, I thought they only sold them in 2, right? And I found this out like last year. Apparently, you buy ribs at Costco, you get 3 whole racks of ribs, man.
Oh, come on.
That's
Are
the
you serious?
wholesalers.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
wholesalers, you know.
So like I right now got some ribs that I'm gonna be cooking. Like I'm gonna be eating it for breakfast and dinner. So there you go. I'm eating good. I'm eating good tonight and in the morning.
You are a lucky duckling. Okay, so I just want to let everyone know that if you go to my community page, I have decided to do what Kit did because we hit 40K on mine. We're at 42,000. Yes, we hit 40K on my channel. So I have on my community page, you can vote for it if you want to. I'm going to leave it up for at least another week because I haven't ordered it yet. So far 28 have voted and 68% want me to dress up as a witch. They want to see the black hat. They want to see the dress. They want to. I'm going to do what I do for Halloween, just minus the hat. But I will have the hat this time. So I have actually, I saw 2. I'm like, oh, this is cute. Oh, this is cute. So people don't want to see me. They don't want to hear me sing. They don't want to. They don't want me to wear a Mr. Perfect T-shirt, which I do have some that are literally from the WWE. That say Mr. Perfect and stuff. But they want to see me dress up in a witch's costume with a black hat. So far out, I'll take it. I was gonna do either. I was thinking about doing both. I was thinking about doing the black hat and the witch, and then also singing "Rap is Crap" on Rumble only. But hey, you got to do what the fans want. So the fans want to see me in the black hat, and
you have to acknowledge what the people want. If you don't give the people what
That's
they want, by the way, sorry about next door because actually pretty soon. If the weather
even the dog next door, he agrees that I should dress up as a witch.
Yeah, but the dog agrees. Actually, for all those who are wondering about the barking, see, it's a rescue dog, and it's very protective of her owner. So
that's okay.
Once it's out of the yard, calm as a cucumber. But once it's in its yard, like I'm walking out the it's like, I'm like, okay, first of all. Yeah, at 11, bring it down to at least a 2,
At 2, yeah.
Yeah. So when I take off the storm windows, because I got some old school storm windows, that it's pretty soon, like if we're doing the show, you're gonna hear that bark, 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 bark.
That's okay. I wouldn't be surprised if you heard my son just kind of like, yeah, because he's out there watching the Paw Patrol movie. So we love Paw Patrol in this house.
As you should.
As we should. That's right.
As you should.
As we should. And he has not only, well, he's watching it on TV. They obviously have it on Nickelodeon or Nick Jr. And then like we have it on DVD. We have both the regular one and then the Mighty Pop movie. So let's get to today. We are definitely going to talk about the Sandman because I got two ECW guys with me who know what the heck they're talking about because I have no idea what I'm talking about. But I just kind of followed along, and I was actually shocked by some of the stuff that they talked about on Dark Side of the Ring. This past Tuesday, they had the Dark Side of the Ring, the Sandman. I didn't know much about the Sandman. I just knew he was in ECW and that he loved to drink beer like Austin, and that he would go like this with the beer cans and open himself up.
Yes.
I actually. Okay, so this is, if my mom ever sees this, she'll probably be like, "Kit, what were you thinking?" But in high school, I would actually crack open a soda can, Coca-Cola, and like do that, like occasionally, like, "Hey guys, remember Sandman? Sandman." I'd be like, "Dude, don't."
No. I didn't do that.
By the way, he would also do Mr. Taco.
No, get out of here! Are you serious?
No, I'm talking about you.
Oh,
Mr. Taco.
so he's like, Sandman did Mr. Taco. Like,
no,
no, yeah.
In case Kit's mom is watching, he did Mr. Taco instead of Mr. Sacco.
Yes. Hey, everybody, guess who it is? Mr. Taco.
I think at this point your mom's going, "Oh, what did I go wrong?"
No, my mom's like, "Kid, I know I raised you better. You better not have been acting crazy." I'm like, "No, Mom, trust me out. Much love to you, Ma. Much love to you."
So it starts out that the Sandman. Of course, we have the whole Sandman in the. They didn't show him as a kid. I would have rather seen some stuff when he was a kid, but whatever. We start, when he's a teenager and he gets in trouble a lot.
I didn't know he became a Chippendale.
Yeah. And he was doing, blow back there with the guys, and then
that happened.
He would
late
have
80s.
girls. Yeah, he would have ladies. And the FBI broke down the door and kind of said, "Hey, give up your buddies," because FBI. Open up.
I'm good.
He's like, okay, yeah, no, I quit. I'm not giving up my buds. So he wasn't a squealer. It wasn't Trey, and he wasn't a snitch. Okay.
No, he wasn't.
Because remember, snitches get stitches.
Yes, of course they do. Of course they do.
He did a few months in jail, but it wasn't.
Yeah, like he said, while he was a teenager, he kind of like did some time because he broke into someone's house when he was high or something. He broke into someone's house. Go ahead.
So,
go ahead, Ames.
No, I'm just gonna say. I mean, and he was. And there's a lot, especially at the beginning. I'm like, he was a Chippendale, then he became a. He was, like to pleasure people for hire. Let's say I don't know how to else to put that, but yeah, I mean, I was shocked by that. It's like, really? Then Then his first gimmick was as a surfboarder. It's like, didn't know that either.
So, when he broke into the business, well, he found his wife, and the funniest thing, not funny, but I mean, it was kind of like, what, really? You would say that to someone? But like, he met his wife, and he's like, he looks right at her and goes, "I could love you." Who says that?
I can see that because there's a couple of people I knew back in the day that really had a hard time connecting with people. And the thing is, like, let's look at how somebody's raised. I mean, it's not. Here's the thing. Probably the reason why we didn't get to his childhood is because maybe there might have been stuff that just really should not have been covered or talked about. Like some things, it's like, okay, very radioactive, right? Yeah. You have to remember, Sandman. At the end of the day, a lot of these wrestlers, what people fail to realize is the wrestling you see today is very clean and corporatized. Yes, it still has its carnival traditions because wrestling goes back to the carny days. But even back then in the 80s, 90s, wrestling was not this lucrative job that's going to launch you into Hollywood or internet stardom. It was just a job. And if you did make it on top, it was like, you were one of the very rare few. And I'm going to be hesitant using this analogy too, but even back in the day when you had adult film star talent, you weren't going to be the Jenna Jameson, because even she was a rarity. Now, internet celebrity and power and all that.
Scary how you know that. It's
How do
really scary
how,
you
how do
know
I
that.
how do I read the U.S. Constitution and played backgammon as a young kid?
Yeah,
I never
sure
did
you
anything
do.
like that. How dare you? And
Yeah.
I would read philosophy. And in my Marine Corps days, we would drink tea and meditate and talk about Shakespeare.
And talk about getting pussy. Come on, kid. We're all
But-
adults here.
But looking at Sandman stuff, and again, Angel, I didn't mean to, obviously I want you to continue on here because you were bringing up some other good points.
Oh no, that's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, but it's just I think people need to realize, like, a lot of the wrestlers, especially the names that are now immortal, they had to do whatever they had to do to get on by. Even Dwayne The Rock Johnson had to do stuff too, man. Like all of them did. Like people forget.
Just not in the adult film.
Yeah,
I don't remember The
not
Rock
much.
ever doing that.
No, nothing like that. But I mean, like, doing commercials or modeling or anything of that nature. Like, a lot of wrestlers, even the women wrestlers too, they had to get that extra cash on the side.
Yeah, I was shocked when Sherry met her. They had also the Dark Side of the Ring, Sherry Martel. I was shocked when she said, her ex-husband was sitting in a booth and she was, making comments to him. And then she said, well, why don't you see me later? We'll have a drink. And he went to the strip club. She was a dancer. She was a stripper. So I was actually shocked to find out that Sherry was, doing what she could to break into the business, but she was a stripper.
Yeah, that was shocking too. I mean,
Yeah.
especially
I couldn't believe
when
it.
Well, I mean, not all the ladies, but I mean, like a lot of wrestling ladies, a lot of wrestling talent did do the adult stuff. I mean, that's where all of them, some of them did come from, or either that would partake in. It's nothing to be ashamed about. It's just like, that's just how it is. And I think so many people are shocked. I think even us ourselves, because you see the story of the Sandman or whoever else. Let's any wrestler, and you think that, okay, well, they're just in this and they somehow got in, but it's not that clean cookie cutter world. And you get a lot of stories like that in ECW, and that's I think that's one of the other reasons why I'm really like I can gravitate towards ECW, because it's more of, wow, these guys not only put their bodies on the line, but holy cow, their lives too, and what they've done. Just to make bread or ease or that, grace the ring and be forever immortalized in the world of wrestling. Yep. It's a story that I think if I went through even a fraction with it, that would probably break me. Just saying.
There's no way. I'm not sure. I didn't see the whole episode. I saw 90% of it. I'm not sure if they went into the part where Sandman died after he overdosed.
Yeah, his heart stopped. Yeah,
he overdosed.
We'll get there. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure if that episode went into that or not, but I didn't see.
Yeah,
the whole
they
thing,
did.
But...
Well, yeah, the wife said, basically, she said, "I'm surprised he didn't die a long time ago."
Yeah,
I mean, she
some of
does
the
say
boys. I know we'll get there. Some of the boys just left him in the hospital. Oh, we don't know him. We saw him on the street corner or whatever, dying. So good luck to you,
Yeah.
And he did the show too that night. They brought him back and he did the show.
He woke up, tore all the stuff out, walked out of the hospital, and
he
went
did
to
the show
that
the
night.
show he's booked for.
That's why the wife said he should have been dead a long time ago, because literally it was to the point he was so bad.
That's a wrestler. That's
yeah,
a wrestler.
but I mean, he was self-medicating because obviously he was injured. But I mean, even his son was like, I didn't even know to that extent.
Yeah.
But we'll get there. So
yeah, we'll get there for sure. But I just thought of that, like,
yeah. So
I mean, that's a wrestler.
So he meets his future wife. Lori is her name. I think it was Lori.
Hold on, let me actually pull that up on. I'm gonna do Destiny. I'm gonna do the Destiny and be like,
you pull it up.
Destiny.
Oh, dude.
Where's the Wikipedia?
That dude needs to get laid.
No, that dude's got some problems on his own.
He need to suck some dick. Okay,
Lori Fullington, and they have 4 children together. There you go. Man's still alive. Keep. Yeah, Sandman. We're switching perfect. We're switching perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, but be careful with Wikipedia. Sometimes they lie.
Yes.
So,
of course, they do it all the time.
But that Lori is his ex-wife, actually.
Mhm.
Because they said they got
Yeah, the
divorced.
divorce. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it says on the wiki. So,
Okay.
folks, but don't use Wikipedia. But there we go. We got the
I only
wiki.
use it. I only use it for wrestling stuff. The political stuff.
Yeah, you
For my
can't
No.
other
even trust
shows.
it. Yeah, no, you can't trust it because, like Jimmy Dore said, if it's anybody controversial, they're gonna lie
But
and keep on lying about it.
well, I would double
Mhm.
check whether source. Not just, but it's
Other
easier.
sources, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna just use it. Even for politics, zero chance. For my other
yeah.
show, Angel in the Afternoon, link down there, zero chance.
Mhm.
I definitely will put the Angel in the Afternoon link in my description field. So yeah, if you want to check him out, check him out every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern.
And I'm
Mhm.
with you every Saturday at 8
That's
on
right.
the same channel. So
On the same channel, yeah. So when he meets his wife, obviously they didn't get married at first, but she became pregnant, and he said, "Well, I don't want the child to be, born out of wedlock, so let's get married." And
we'll
they
get
showed,
married.
yeah, they showed some of the wedding, and I loved her dress. Her dress was really
Yeah, it
beautiful.
was.
Um, but I was like, "Oh, well, that's the kind of thing you did in that day, though. Like back in the
Yeah.
80s, 70s and
Hmm.
80s, you kind of did that kind of thing, even
Mhm.
though some marriages never worked out, and some did. And usually because the wife got pregnant or the person got pregnant before, um, you know,
It was
they
like,
were ready, or you know, they had to get married because of the child. So
Mhm.
they had their daughter, and the daughter, she's got a nose ring and she looks just like him, I swear, like a,
Magic.
a
yeah,
female
Magic.
right.
version of him. And she bears her father no ill will, even though he basically put them all through hell,
Yeah.
for so many years. But so when he went off to wrestling, he did some indie circuits, which ECW was sort of an indie circuit before it became ECW. And they actually
Yeah,
talked to the guy
Mhm.
who started ECW.
Todd
He was
Gordon.
the promoter. So it wasn't Paul E.
It was Todd
Paul E
Gordon.
was more the booker. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, Paulie really, just this little random thing. Paulie really put his life and soul and energy into
Yes.
making ECW. And the thing
Yes.
Yeah,
is, like, I could relate a little bit to the work ethic that he's doing, but he never gave himself a break. But that just
Right.
shows
no,
you how much he loved it. But
And that's
yeah,
what
I mean,
the
yeah.
promoter was saying. He was kind of saying, I trusted Paul E to take the ECW in a certain direction, and Paul
Mhm.
E gave his heart and soul for
because
it.
Yeah, he did.
Um, he pretty much made ECW what it was, and what it could have been.
hmm
And everything, the extreme part of it was everything you could have thought of because of Paul E. And that's what the promoter was giving him, all kinds of accolades and kudos. And I do believe that Paul E did his ultimate best to make it what he would have, how he would have booked ECW in the day. Your thoughts, gentlemen?
Hey, Angel, you could shoot first. I talked a lot. You go.
well, I mean, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. This wasn't covered on the show, but Todd Gordon was a huge wrestling fan, and he happened to, just start promoting wrestling. It was Eastern Championship Wrestling initially. It was in
Yeah.
Philadelphia,
Mhm.
and he happened to be promoting it, and that's where Sandman came in. A lot of those guys came in, but they had shitty gimmicks, not the gimmicks we know
Really,
today.
yeah.
In
Yeah.
ECW. So Paul Lee came in after he left WCW. I think it was 94 ish,
Yeah.
93, 94 ish. He came in, and that's when he became the booker, and he kind of taught in. And Paul Lee talked Todd Gordon into, oh yeah, let's turn this into extreme. Let's go. Blah, blah, blah. He convinced him. I mean, Paul
Sounds
Lee
like
can
Vince
convince.
McMahon.
He can convince you to sell. He can sell your own glasses off your face. That's how good Paul
Yeah.
Lee is.
Mhm.
Yeah. And they did talk about the Sandman's first gimmick. His wife eventually will go with him. Miss Peaches. She'll be called Miss Peaches.
Yes, he
Because
was.
Sandman
Don't.
goes, he looks at me and goes, "You're gonna be the Sandman." Or this is after the surfer gimmick, and
Hmm.
what Lori says is, "Oh man, that thing smelled. It smelled terrible. He looked awful. He looked fat. He didn't look very nice in
Yeah, he
it."
did.
But I mean, he
went-
did whatever they wanted him to do, and he just went out there with a surfboard and just kind of killed it. You know,
to be
he
fair,
literally knew how to like do a promo and stuff. So it kind of shocked me too.
to be fair, he was in really good shape in the early '90s. Like, whoa, that's Sandman.
Almost, yeah.
Because I was
still
used to
fat in that surfer suit.
I was
Hey,
used to
hey,
him having.
hey! Body positivity.
But yeah, I'm used to him having the T-shirt and the beer belly, you know. So I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, he's in great shape in the early '90s. Huh.
Yeah, he was. He was actually. I think he was a bouncer at one point in a bar.
Yeah.
Yeah. They talked about that too, where he would get in fights like almost every day. And a lot of those wrestlers were bouncers for something, because I know they said that there was, even in the Minnesota group, when you had like Rick Rude and you had Jumpin' Jim Brunzell, and they were all bouncers at Mrs. I think it was Miss
Also,
B's or something.
yeah. Also, Undertaker was a bouncer.
Yeah, Mark
Back
Halloween.
when he first started.
Oh yeah.
In the business, yeah, he was a
Oh,
bouncer.
yeah.
in
Okay, yeah.
Texas.
Sorry. No, all of a sudden,
Texas,
I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, there you go.
He was
Yeah.
a bouncer.
So you had
because
a
he was,
lot of
what
yeah.
is he,
You had
6'10", 350 then? So
Yep.
yeah, he was a perfect
Yeah.
bouncer. You know, like
yeah.
kick
I
guys'
mean, you
ass
didn't
every
mess
night.
with Mark Calloway. You didn't
Yeah.
mess with that dude.
Can you imagine that? You get led into the club and he's like, "Hey, don't cause any trouble." You're like, "No problem." And you look up, you're like,
oh, no problem.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
no
Yeah,
problem
no, I'm
indeed.
good.
Yeah.
Let me just
Shoot.
drink my beer and get out of
"Give
here.
me,
You know?
give me a root beer." All right, I'm gonna play it safe here, people.
I'm like,
So what's the Sandman's real name? I can never remember. What was
Jim
it?
Fullington?
No,
Is it Jim
it's,
Fullington or
no, it's James.
Oh, James.
Right,
James, not Jim,
James.
not
Okay.
Jim Jam, not Jimmy,
Excuse me.
not
I'm
Joseph.
close.
It's
close.
James. James and the Giant Peach.
James and the Giant Peach.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, James and Giant Peach.
Okay. All right, can you still hear us?
Yeah, I'm good. I
Yeah.
just
Okay.
my computer nearly like did that for some reason. So I'm fine.
Okay.
Go.
So, yeah. So when he gets after the surfer, so I don't know if Paulie got a hold of him. I think it was Paulie. Kind of said, okay, you're the
Yes.
Sandman now.
Mhm.
And okay, well, what about my wife? And he goes, she's Miss Peaches. And she's like, what? Okay, whatever.
How
I'll
about can
just
I
go
be the
with it.
dream catcher? The dream catcher or something like that. There you go. I don't know.
So she would come out with him, and it was the Sandman and Miss Peaches, and she would come out with him at ringside, of course, wearing, very skimpy things. I guess that's what they wanted women to do in ECW at the time.
Oh,
Because it was
yes.
kind of by then, it was like, they were doing the Attitude Era by this time. So when it became ECW, the women were more gladly, dressed, and the guys
And
were like,
I respected it. I loved it. I loved all of it.
of course, because Dawn Marie wore
we
nothing,
were teenagers. We were
Oh,
teenagers
yeah.
in the 90s.
All you needed
so
was
it
a
was
push-up bra. Come on, I got bigger
Yeah.
titties than most of those ladies on that
Da-
show. Come on.
Dawn Marie will forever will always have my heart. That's the one. Dawn Marie. Who didn't love Dawn Marie?
we were teenagers in the late 90s, so it was like
Right. So the
one
people
of
like
those
Sonny
things,
and Sable who didn't know how to wrestle, they were just things to look at. I would even dare say not Luna, because Luna was kind of a enigma onto herself, but she knew how to wrestle. She was second
she knew how to
generation.
wrestle. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say Sable, Trish Stratus, maybe. Did she know how to wrestle?
She learned how to work eventually.
Yeah.
But she was a model initially. Yeah, years later.
Yeah, they also said she was part of the adult industry as well.
I don't know about
that was probably just a gimmick, though.
Who?
I think
Trish? No, I don't know.
Trish? No, I don't think she was part of it.
No, she was a
They
fitness
may have
model.
said that, though, because I remember Jerry Lawler making a comment, oh, she never says no.
Well, I mean, that was the early 2000s. And
so that probably was just, that was
their
way of, it's kind of like the Val Venus thing. He really wasn't a male adult film person.
No, he
it was
wasn't.
probably like that.
Sean Morley, who played Val Venus, was pretty conservative.
Morley, I can never remember his last name. I know it's Sean.
Morley.
Yeah, okay.
He's pretty conservative politically, so
yeah,
I've seen some of his tweets. Yeah, so
and
I don't know whether he would actually be.
Well, how was he? I don't think he liked that gimmick too much, though. He didn't like the Val Venus gimmick too much.
I don't think so because the way he talks today, he's like a standard right winger. So,
Of course.
Yeah. Well, some people did gimmicks that they just did not like, and they're like,
That's
yeah,
true.
that's
It's
the
like-
thing.
I
But
think
it's like-
it was just a paycheck, for
yeah,
some
he's
people.
like, he's like,
Uh,
hey, Vince told me to do it. It's like you're
yeah,
gonna be a
Glenn
stripper,
Jacobs
pal.
was the
Whatever.
fake Diesel. Glenn Jacobs was a fake
Yeah,
Diesel.
before he became
He
Kane, he
hated
was a fake
that.
Diesel.
He
Yeah.
did not like that at all.
He was a
Mhm.
And
fake
then he was
Diesel.
Isaac Yankum, and he didn't like that either.
Oh, that was You know what's funny? This is off topic, but Isaac Yankum,
okay.
that dentist, scared
Yeah.
the crap out of me as a kid.
Really?
I didn't want to
Oh,
go to
yeah.
the dentist because of that. I did
Yeah.
not
Oh,
want to go to the
really?
dentist. That scared me to death.
Oh,
Clowns freak me out, and Doink the Clown scared
Oh,
me,
Oh,
Doink
come
man.
on.
did too. Yeah,
Yeah, man.
seriously. Doink the
Stupid.
Clown scared me.
Yeah.
We
No,
were young. We were
I
in the
wasn't
90s.
scared. I didn't like clowns unless they were magicians too. And
Well,
Doink just did like stupid
Matt
stuff, and I was
Bourne-
just like, "That's not funny, Doink."
No.
Matt Bourne
no.
was believable in that evil clown gimmick, though.
Yes,
yeah,
he was.
I bought it.
believable,
I
but it
bought it.
wasn't. Matt, yeah, Matt got over as Doink, and then he screwed it up, and then ended up, it was actually the guy who played, who did the gimmick of Skinner. That was who Doink was, and
Oh.
then eventually it would
Okay.
become the Brooklyn Brawler. Actually, was doing Doink at one point.
Yeah, Matt Bourne.
Yeah, so
the
there-
original
there-
Doink was the best. I
Yeah,
thought.
you
He scared
remember the
crap
two
out of me.
Doinks? Remember
Mhm.
the two
Yeah,
Doinks
yeah.
at WrestleMania
Mhm.
9?
Yeah,
One was Steve Kern, who was Skinner, because that's why Skinner disappeared.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because he had a match with Curt on Curt's birthday in 1993. So March 28th, 1993, him and Steve Kern were wrestling, and he was wrestling as Skinner.
So we're
'Cause you
in
get-
93 because in
Yeah.
2 more years, the Sandman would have his fight with Shane Douglas to get the championship belt for ECW.
Well, wait, we're getting there. We're going
I know.
slowly. So once he gets to the Sandman thing, he says he didn't really know how he would come to the ring. He kind of wasn't sure, but then someone, I think maybe Paul E suggested, well, why don't you just go through the crowd? And
No.
he
Yeah.
drank beer and he smoked cigarettes, and he just kind of went through the ring. And by the time they said he got to the ring, literally he was drunk. He had 6 beers.
I thought how that went down was Sandman was at a bar across the street accidentally. He's like, oh shit, my music's playing. So he had a beer and he ran through the crowd, went to the front door.
Ran through the crowd, yeah. Like,
Because
oh, no!
he didn't want Paul Lee to be pissed at him. So it's like, fuck it, I'm gonna go across through the that's how that started.
That became a thing for him, and he would always go through a different way. But then it's kind of funny how Diamond Dallas Page would eventually do the same thing and become the people's champion in WCW and go through the crowd. That's what DDP. Oh, DDP, you suck. Okay. And I don't want to. I'm not going to promote this anyway because we've already gone past what we can say in promotion.
Mhm.
So I'm just going to say, DDP, you suck. Okay. He made Curt bleed. No, it wasn't. It was an accident. It was a total accident. It's during Monday Nitro. Him and Curt is like this with the belt. He's going to
Mhm.
hit DDP with the belt. DDP's leg comes up, hits the belt, and it hits Curt right here in the lip.
Yeah.
And he's
Well,
bleeding,
that'll do
so he gets out of the ring, and the referee's like, no. And all you can see is blood just coming down Kurt's face,
shit.
and he's like walking back
Well, at the time, Turner banned blood.
but
Oh,
that
yeah,
was an
that's right.
accident.
That's
Yeah,
right.
but that was
But
an
no,
accident. That
yeah,
was
but that's
beyond their
also Page.
control.
I know.
Yeah.
It true, but even then, like people were really trying to come down hard on a lot.
Yeah,
on
Turner
wrestling.
Broadcasting banned blood.
Yeah.
Well, it was, and like I said, it was an accident. I think the belt came back and hit Curt right in the lip.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So and it was like, oh, they didn't want to, oh shit, we
Mhm.
didn't want to do that. And it wasn't Kurt's fault, but it also didn't help that the cameraman kind of followed Curt back as he was walking to the first aid station,
Uh-huh.
out into the entranceway into the back. So it was kind of the cameraman's fault if they actually didn't, because as soon as Curt did it, Curt was like, oh shit. You can see him do that. Oh shit, all the way back.
The director probably told the cameraman to follow Curt for some reason. So
For some reason, right?
yeah, I don't know because
they wanted to
Turner
see
banned
why-
blood. So
Yeah, they want to see exactly why Curt got out of the ring so fast. after it was a disqualification, I believe. But yeah, that anyway, getting back to the Sandman, unlike Austin,
We
now
always go off topic.
eventually,
Sorry.
right?
Yeah, we
no,
do.
no, that's
We do.
fine because there's only so much you can talk about this Dark Side of the Ring. And
Yeah.
I at least want to go an hour, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, depending on
Okay.
how much off topic we can go.
Okay.
And like I said, because it's my show, I get to talk about Curt Hennig because that's my man right there.
That's fine.
But I do want to say, the Sandman would give way to Stone Cold Steve Austin and his, he would drink beer on the way to the ring. Well, actually, after the match, it wasn't on the way to the ring.
Yeah.
Austin would just drink beer. Of course, he gave way to the beer truck. I just saw that on X. They were just promoting the beer truck incident. Remember the beer truck guys?
Yeah.
It was so freaking cool. I thought it was awesome. So he drenches, Stone Cold would drench Vince McMahon, Shane McMahon, and The Rock in beer and then go like, like that to himself. He said in an interview after that, he said, you know what? If I had tonsils, I wouldn't have had. They would have been, because of the pressure. He said, he also said that was a real waste of beer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean,
as I quote Stone Cold. So
no, but that sucked because it was a waste of beer. Because
at least
beer.
McMahon got some, and Shane.
Yeah. Actually, in my fridge right now, I got a couple of
Coors Lights.
No, not coolers. No. Corona the beer.
Corona.
Okay. Yes, the beer.
I have never tried Corona. I have tried Heineken, and Heineken is the only beer I seem to like.
Yeah, well,
that's good.
Here's the thing.
That's high gravity.
The reason why Corona is so close to me is because it was wrongly vilified in 2020. That was the original vaccine. That's all we had to drink, folks, and we would have been cured.
Yeah.
We would have been cured. The cure was there the whole time. It was beer. The cause and solution to all of life's problems.
Of course, the vaccines are safe and healthy and effective, and you should get your 10 boosters.
Yeah, no doubt.
Get them today. Get your 10 boosters today.
I scheduled my appointment.
Schedule your appointments now. Just for YouTube purposes, because this will go on YouTube, unfortunately. But I wish we could do what we could do on Rumble on YouTube. So if I could promote on Rumble, I would drop YouTube like that.
Things will change. Things will change, and I think Kick is also a pretty good platform to. I mean,
yeah,
Kick
but it's for live only. It's not for recording.
Yeah, it's only live.
Right. I'm sorry.
But I did tell. No, it's okay. I told Angel this. I do want to do a live show, just not right now. That's when I'll have the black hat and the dress and the, the witch's costumes. I'm thinking maybe next month, like June-ish. So I would definitely like to do a live. Curt Hennig is the best. Change my mind. And what we would do is either thinking doing like audio for Curt's matches, or maybe we could do Bret, because I know someone likes Bret Hart.
Bret the Hitman Hart.
Bret the Hitman Hart. If we have Greg
best
on,
there is, best there ever will be.
He wishes he was great. He wasn't perfect, baby. Because I found a couple of Bret the Hitman Hart and versus Mr. Perfect matches that were house shows that someone actually taped. Or we could do it was Bret and Curt tag teamed against Luger and Scott Hall. So it was Luger, the narcissist, and Razor Ramon. Someone went to Madison Square Garden and somewhere else in New York. I want to say, Syracuse maybe.
I've never seen those matches.
And they actually had a video camera the whole house show. Now I got them off of YouTube because you never know, they could be taken down for copyright reasons, even though it's someone's home video. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
I got them off as soon as I could, and literally we could watch we could at least listen to the audio for that. I can do that. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Oh, wow. I just don't want to show anything because, again, copyright reasons. It would probably be taken down once YouTube figures it out. So we could just do like a live show audio.
That's a good idea.
We could either do just Bret, or we could just do
like a dream match.
If you were to
like
do
Curt
a live
and Bret versus Narcissist and the other guy who Scott Hall. Yeah,
I would say if you're gonna be doing that like Rumble. I mean, obviously, I can, I could maybe help you get verified on your Rumble account and everything else. Like once you get a certain amount of followers, but I know we were talking business. We shouldn't be doing that. We should be talking afterwards. But
No, that's fine.
I said, but if you are going to do a live show and
Mhm.
just test it out, Kick would be a good spot. Just here's the thing. Like obviously, like I like to joke around the show. Like, yeah, we're building up Kick and take over. Kick's got its good side and bad side with real life streamers in there and everything else.
Mhm.
And the problem is, it is also home to a lot of people being edge lords and degenerates. So just there's a whole lot of give and take, and there's some things you can get away with on Kick. It's just be careful. Like that's my advice to anyone. Like, be careful when you fly in there and know what you're flying into. So yeah, Kick and Rumble looks like a good spot to maybe do that like live and not worry about YouTube backlash. But
Okay, well,
anyways.
we could do that. And then I would just show them. As far as I know, they are on YouTube still, but I have them saved, so I could just share my screen, put my drive in, and we could just bring up they're literally, I think that's what I want to do. There's two of them, so it's Syracuse and then it's MSG, so Madison Square Garden. It's Mr. Perfect and Bret Hart tag teamed against Razor Ramon and the Narcissist Lex Luger. Awesome matches. Really
wow.
good quality too. There's only like one or two, like they kind of like move the camera a couple times, but it's not like like they do it all the time. It's just like they're trying to, not get someone's head in the way and not be obvious that they're recording it. So because I think even back in those days, you weren't really supposed to be doing that with house shows. Yeah, it was like a house show was a house show for a reason. It wasn't meant for viewing audiences everywhere. But luckily enough, these people were brave enough to show them on YouTube. So I definitely would like to do that maybe in June. Like kind of do what we're doing here, only it would be a live show, maybe just for Rumble, maybe just for Kick. Because I do have a Kick account, obviously.
Yes.
But for now, and thank you, Kit. Yes, I would love to get verified. I have 25 followers on Rumble.
You still gotta up those numbers, but I know I think I'm
I've been
following you on
trying.
Kick. Yeah, so there you go. I mean,
Yeah,
not
I
Rumble, yeah, but
really
Rumble.
have been
Yeah.
trying to get Rumble. And like I said, if I could do what I could do on YouTube, like get 41,000 on Rumble by promoting it, the way YouTube promotes things, even though I think Rumble would be way better because I wouldn't have to watch what I say, basically.
No, you wouldn't on a Rumble.
Right, not on Rumble. I would have way more followers than I would now on YouTube. So, but until that happens, maybe we could talk Rumble into doing that, and that would be pretty freaking awesome. And then I could just get my Rumble up there.
Let me see what because obviously I'm still on that journey too. I mean, I know a couple of people, but I mean, like I said, like just I'm building that relationship up. So, once I'm maybe more settled in, or I could see who I can reach out to maybe help out your Rumble channel too. Because listen, folks, if you're watching this on YouTube, if you're one of the 42,000, yes, that's right, beautiful people. Listen, just as a favor, why don't you mosey on and fly over to Rumble and follow our wonderful co-host, or host of the show, not co-host, host of the show, Miss Witchy Perfect, and help build her up on Rumble, because then I can help her get verified, and there we go. We can go there. Then there's a whole treasure trove of opportunities that could come on down. Maybe, hopefully.
Just all you'd have to do in the search field is type in Curt Hennig was the best, change my mind podcast, and follow me. And it is greatly appreciated. I love all of you. It's just, I just wish I could promote differently. I would love to do Rumble better than YouTube. Because Rumble, again, a lot of people miss out on my theme song, and I have a couple of theme songs that I just absolutely love. I let Angel hear my one that I'm gonna use that for all my matches that I do on Rumble that have to do with Portland. It's a song called Like Curt Hennig, and I kid you not when I say that this song is literally, I found it quite by accident. I don't even know why I was looking around or why this song popped up, but it's called Like Curt Hennig. and it's a rap song, which is conveniently it's like irony, right? Because he
Mhm.
was part of the West Texas Rednecks and
Yeah.
they liked country. But though Curt says, I liked all music. So if you can go to Rumble, Curt Hennig was the best. Change My Mind podcast. Follow me. I got 25 followers. I would like some more.
Yeah.
And once we get verified, we can even do live stuff there too. I mean, I could do live stuff now. It's just it's actually more beneficial for me to do it through YouTube, but then I have to watch what I say.
Yeah.
Even to
Yeah.
promote something like that. So
See, yeah, because
Go
see, the
ahead.
thing is, like, I know there's a lot of wrestling channels out there too that have been see, because for those of you who may not know the insides of how YouTube works, a lot of content creators, especially when it comes down to covering wrestling, I'm pretty sure a lot of us would like to check out these clips of these great things, but then there is the massive hammer that is the WWE and its affiliates that
Mhm.
would be like, hey, we're gonna terminate your channel. So it's yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
when I do pro wrestling talk, I don't risk clips or anything like that. We just talk
Yeah,
about it
and I
ourselves.
would love to show you guys, actually
Mm.
physically show you
Mhm.
the
I would
clips
too.
instead of,
Mhm.
just hearing the audio. So
Yeah.
the one
Mhm.
match I just did with Brett and Curt, they took it off of YouTube for copyright reasons. So that's why I was like, well, I already, downloaded it off the internet. So, or downloaded it off of YouTube. So I'll just show the audio and I'll just shut up and you can listen. um, so I try not to talk as
Right.
much during the match. Like usually I just say go to Peacock because if you have a Peacock subscription,
Mhm.
I knew it's so if you have a Peacock
Just go to the
subscription,
cock.
go to the cock. That's what Jim Cornette says, right? Go to the cock. Um, you actually don't even need a real subscription. If you have like Spectrum or you have Xfinity, I think they offer free. It's with ads, but they offer a free.
Yeah.
You can watch Peacock for free.
Yeah, I
So you
canceled the
don't even
cable.
need a subscription. I have one just because I don't like ads. I hate them. When I
I
watch Curt
canceled my
Hennig, I
cable.
want to watch Curt, not the stupid ad. Okay,
Yeah,
I
I
gotta
watch.
have my
Yeah.
Curt Hennig. All right.
I canceled my cable, so Peacock's like for $5.99 a month.
Oh God.
Yeah, I have it for $9. It's like
Well, that's without ads. Yeah.
yeah, that's without ads. Yeah.
Mm.
So if you want it for like $5, that's with ads. But if
That's
you
with
don't want
ads. Yeah.
ads like me, I only get it for $9 though. I got it on a special. I only pay $3 for one and then $5 for the other one.
Mm.
So it's like it comes out to like $9.53 a month.
Yeah, similar
And
to me too. Like I pay like got Netflix and Hulu and and Max. That's what I got. So it's real
right.
Well, I canceled
um,
my cable. I'm about to because that's why I bought Peacock separately.
yeah,
Yeah.
I would do
I
that,
have
but
to.
my dad has to have his cable. He has to watch his
Well,
Harry Potter every
well,
single freaking weekend.
yeah, same thing. My mother, she has to have her cable, but it's
Yeah,
like
I
I'm
know.
gonna get YouTube TV or something in order to satisfy her.
Oh God, no, not YouTube TV. Oh no,
Ugh.
no, no,
Or
no,
whatever,
no.
some service. I don't know.
I mean, that's like $62, dude. I
I know.
checked it.
It
Okay,
is?
well, yeah,
Yeah,
it's up
yeah.
to when it first started. It was like at oh boy, it was at I want to say make $9, and then because so many people were buying it. Now it's up to like 62, $65.
Mm-hmm.
Could be more than
Wow.
that.
I
Yeah.
Oh
think
jeez.
I'll use a bunch of promo codes. Eventually, I'll find one that's cheap.
Yeah, like use honey or something,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
something that will give you some kind of thing. But let's get back to
Yeah.
why we're
Yeah.
here.
The fun.
That's
The
okay.
fun.
I love the getting off topic. Like I said, I love talking about Curt Hennig. I mean, and that's why we're here because I have a show about him. I finally just gave my show to
As you should.
as I should. I gave pro wrestling talk to my ex so that when my son was at his house, he could watch mommy on pro wrestling talk, and
Aw.
that's why I was like, watch the swearing, please.
And within 5 minutes, I say the F word. I say fuck. But,
I was like, and he goes, "Oh man, I'm so sorry."
no, I said something about how I'm fucked, but it's like
Yeah.
immediately, it's like
I was like,
within
no,
5
it's all
minutes,
good,
but
dude. I don't even think
whatever.
my ex, he may have thought, like, he may have showed like 5 seconds to my son. That. So anyway, the Sandman comes out, he's smoking cigarettes, he's doing the beer thing. And again, like I said, that would go on to be, except for the hitting in the head, that would go on to be a Stone Cold thing as well in WWF.
Yeah.
So a lot of
Well,
scenarios or
Stone
storylines.
Cold would crash the
do
beers
that.
Yeah, he would
together.
crash
Yeah.
them
He
together
would.
instead of banging his own head.
Yeah.
The Sandman said he just kind of wanted to get color beforehand. That was kind of like his thing. He wanted to be busted open before that. And then
Well, he was
yeah,
drunk.
Angel, when he was drunk, and they talked to Sabu. They also talked to RVD. So RVD and Sabu were both in this. Raven was also in this, and I hated
Yeah.
Raven. Ugh! Ah! Raven, you should have stayed in ECW. Anyway, yeah, so Raven would be in this, of course. Sabu said, what did he say, Angel? Go ahead. You want to quote Sabu?
Yeah, well, if he wasn't, are you drunk? Yeah, okay, great. I'll work with you. If not, like, I'm not working with you. Go get some beers or something.
Yeah,
Here,
yeah. He
I'll give
actually
you money.
trusted people who were
Yeah.
drunk.
He's the only
Great.
one he trusted drunk. Anybody else, like, nah, man.
Everybody else, yeah, he would not, he wouldn't touch him. Nope. RVD said pretty much a similar thing. We were all on some kind of substance. I know RVD likes his weed.
Yeah.
And I think that's actually better for anybody than painkillers, because he was also on
Yeah.
the
Oh, yeah.
painkillers too.
Yeah.
And
Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, go ahead. All I was gonna say was, when it comes down to it, the painkillers were not forced, but they were more pushed to athletes and wrestlers alike, because literally
Yes.
wrestlers were getting addicted and then having to go to much more extreme drugs,
Yeah.
and were overdosing. And that's the point where I get so upset, I get so frustrated, because Big Pharma did that all. They did all of that. They did it on purpose because they didn't give a crap about the wrestlers. They didn't
No.
care. They wanted their products to be sold to wrestlers, and look what happened. Wrestlers were ODing every other Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me so angry, because I mean that's what they were saying about many of the wrestlers who OD'd, especially Curt, and Curt was not
That's why.
on
Mhm.
anything heavy. Now
That's why.
he did coke once in a while, but he wasn't like a coke junkie.
That's why wrestlers died in late 30s, early
Yep.
40s, maybe 50 if they're lucky,
Right.
because of the lifestyle they lived and all the unfortunately all the drugs he did. The
Right.
painkillers
Yeah.
and whatever else. So
And here's the kicker. I was surprised when they said that ECW didn't really have a drug policy, but they knew all
Well,
their guys were on it.
yeah. Well,
No.
I mean,
they didn't have a drug policy. Like Paul Lee's like, oh yeah, don't do drugs anymore. Like, who's gonna
they're like,
stop
dude,
Hangman?
okay, thanks,
Or
Paul.
Sabu? Like, yeah, Paul Lee ain't gonna stop anything.
Yeah.
No,
what
he wasn't.
was Paul Lee gonna stop? What's his name? New Jack from doing all
New
this?
Jack?
Like, yeah. I mean, come
Absolutely
on,
not.
New Jack, absolutely not, dude. New Jack might be passed away, but even I'm still afraid of that man. His promo
Yeah.
when he was on the train, like, what do you
Uh-huh.
expect me to be at? In the gym? No. When I see you
No.
in the ring, I'm gonna beat you up. It's like, Jesus. When I saw that as a kid, I was like, okay.
And I wouldn't
I know
wrestle
to
New
avoid
Jack.
you.
I wouldn't wrestle New Jack either. Sure as heck wouldn't lie about my age and then say, hey, okay, yeah, New Jack, you can go ahead and cut me.
Hey, New Jack, do me a favor.
No
Can you cut
way,
me?
honey, no
He's
way.
like, oh yeah, I'll cut the shit out of you. I'll cut
Yeah,
the shit out. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, the dad comes in, he's only 17. Oh, that's not what he told
said
me.
he was 18. So yeah, he got fucked up.
Yeah, it's his own fault.
It's his own fault. That's absolutely correct. That he got
Yeah.
fucked up because literally it was his own fault. He shouldn't have said I was 18.
Exactly.
Um,
Stupid.
I mean,
I have no sympathy for stupid people. I'm sorry.
I have no
folks.
sympathy
No.
for stupid people who want to get into the wrestling business. I mean,
Yeah,
even
exactly.
Sherry, I mean, they said on hers where Grizzly Smith told her, come back when you're 21, kid. Now,
Yeah.
unfortunately, not unfortunately, fortunately for Sherry, she was a little older than what Grizzly was looking for. So
Luckily for
in
her,
that,
yeah.
yeah, lucky for her, she was a tad older
Grizzly
than what he
was
was
like it's too
specifically.
old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she
For
was
Grizzly.
16, and he told her to come back when she was 21.
Was it Grizzly who slapped her, or was it somebody else, some other guy?
No, that was some other guy. I think it
Oh,
was
okay.
Eddie Graham.
Yeah, he slapped her, and she slapped him back. It's like, okay, welcome to the
Yeah.
business, girl. You know,
He's
Yeah,
yeah,
like, "Is
welcome.
that
Well,
all
yeah,
you
welcome.
got? Is that
yeah.
all you got?"
And she
And he's
slapped
like,
him back. So you got? He's like,
"Damn, we need to
oh,
teach her wrestling."
damn, we'll teach her. Yeah,
They taught her the basics, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
The Sandman, he just became a legend. He had great matches with RVD. He had great matches with Sabu. Obviously, they perfected the barbed wire, and of course, the going through the tables stuff. That was all ECW. I think that's probably why I didn't like it, because in modern wrestling, they just had girls do it, go through a barbed wire table. And I'm just like, oh, come on, guys.
That happened. Yeah,
Why
Wednesday
are you
night.
wanting to resurrect ECW? Nobody wants to resurrect
No,
that.
but they're resurrecting the bad parts. I mean, not the bad parts, but they're doing the barbed
Right.
wire for no reason. But there
Right,
was a
because they
reason
always wanted to
ECW.
Yeah.
top themselves and
It,
go one
it
up on
was
themselves. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, you can't. Here's the thing: ECW was an entity of its time, and it could have maybe lasted longer. It did not get screwed over by Spike. If there was more money for it, ECW really had some long-standing power. But the thing is, it was lightning in the bottle. You cannot capture lightning in the bottle twice. And once you see it, it's done. And I know there's a lot of be like, oh, I wish ECW was here. Well, ECW was the thing of its time, but trying to make something brand new or do a click, copy, paste. What made ECW was the heart of the wrestlers and the people who made it. Like Paul Lee, first of all, he was the heart, soul, mind. He was doing everything, which is why it burnt himself out. But he was the one fighting for ECW. You had one color commentator doing it by him freaking self, going, "Oh my God!" And then you have the wrestlers.
Joey Styles, right?
Joey Styles.
Yes. Oh my God! Oh my God!
He called pay-per-views by himself.
Yeah, which is no
Right.
easy feat. And then you have the men and women that made up the talent and the characters that they played as, and what they even put their bodies on the line. They put their own bodies on the line. How many people in this day and age, especially in this economy with our health insurance and everything, are willing to do that?
And they didn't even have it back then either.
Paul
They
Lee.
didn't have it back then. Like
But
just
Paul Lee
pull
was
that-
the cult leader.
Yeah, Paul
He
Lee
was the cult leader.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He would tell these guys to do whatever. Oh, yeah, absolutely, Paul.
Yeah,
You didn't pay me, whatever. You didn't pay me. Okay.
Well, I think it's like a two-way street. Like, yeah, Paulie was the leader, but also some people did their own things too that Paulie didn't know about. And when you also look at because just bring it back to Sandman, what made ECW also legend was the edge stuff. Like, yes, there's New Jack in the Cutting, but there's also, and maybe we're skipping ahead, Sandman being crucified by Raven.
Yeah,
we'll get to that. Which is great. That's
I wasn't there
gold.
for that one. I wasn't there.
We will definitely get there.
I was there for a few other events
mention,
after that.
Yeah, I was just going to mention the whole Raven feud. So when Raven and him got into that, feud, it was always they wanted to top the other. So first it started with the wife leaving and going with Raven, which no offense, guys, but to be honest, I actually I was just beside myself. I'm like, really? You're going to do that right in front of everybody? To the way his wife had her head against Raven's crotch area, I thought she was going to seriously give him a blowjob right there in the arena in front of those people. But
it's not called ECW for no reason.
Yeah, extreme.
I was extreme. Well, that's extreme, yes. But just her head, the way it was positioned, I thought, oh my gosh, she's got to give him a blowjob right there. Oh my God. I hope there's no kids there.
But it made Sandman the top babyface of ECW. I mean, his entire family was stolen by Raven.
Oh, you bitch, how could you turn on your own husband? Because she did a promo with literally where it was like, I follow Raven now. or something like that. Quote the Raven nevermore.
Yeah. Quote the
Which
Raven nevermore.
I fucking hate the Raven. Fuck you, Raven.
But
I hate
Raven
you!
Raven had a run in WWF as Johnny Polo, and he was
Yeah,
pretty
he
good
did.
color guy
Right.
for Vince. He was,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, because he interviewed Curt in '94.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Quote the
When
Raven
Curt
nevermore.
he screwed Lex Luger out of the belt
Yeah, so
as a
that's
referee.
people don't know that. Few people know about that Raven. He was Johnny Polo in WWF.
He was Johnny Polo. Eventually, he would go to WCW as Raven, and he should have stayed in fucking ECW because he didn't like Raven.
Well, he did the
He
same
would
thing
sit
as
in the fucking
Sandman.
corner. I'm like, do
He did the
something,
same.
you stupid bastard.
He did the same thing as Sandman. He took the money from Turner. It's like,
Right.
they offered me $1 million.
Yep.
Like, yeah,
And
of
we'll
course.
get there. We'll get there. So
yeah, definitely. But
in the feud, obviously to top each other, and I've never seen Sandman's son. I didn't even know he had a son. I know he had a daughter. The daughter, she kind of talked about, oh well, my dad wasn't home all the time. But when they brought his son on, the son was like, I would just rather be with my dad. When he was hurt, I was glad. But the Sandman was kind of like the kind of guy. He's kind of like Curt. When Curt messed up his back, he was still wrestling, but then it got to the point where you need something or you need some kind of time off. The Sandman obviously didn't do that, where Curt did, because I think Curt was like, well, I got to listen to my body sometime, or I'll be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life.
Policy.
Yeah, so I
Curt had a
mean,
Lloyd to London policy,
right?
so.
And I don't think any of the ECW guys had that,
No,
unfortunately.
it's probably too expensive for them.
Yeah, and they were paying those high premiums for a reason, but it was for if you got majorly hurt, you could sit out. Obviously, Curt was able to pay it back and then get back into the ring.
They don't sell those policies today for a reason.
No, they sell because they were literally screwing.
The wrestlers were working them. It's like, oh yeah, my back. Oh shit.
Oh,
okay,
back.
yeah. Let me work.
Yeah,
I'm gonna work now.
I'm gonna go work for somebody else. But I think honestly, they should have. These people needed the healthcare the most, and they literally had to pay, out of pocket for all that stuff. And then when it came time to collect it, they would deny them. So
because wrestlers need the health insurance more than most
because
of
they
us.
really put their bodies on the line. And when they interviewed. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's your. You want me to go ahead? It's your show, but
yeah, go.
Okay. Well, I mean, Jesse Ventura tried to get a union in for the boys, like in '87 for WrestleMania 2.
Yeah,
Hogan. Oh, brother, hey, Vince, they're trying to unionize Vince. Yeah, give me more money. It's like, So,
Kit,
but yeah, I mean, it's.
Yeah.
Can you do me a favor, Angel? Can you find the indie opening for our pro wrestling talk and let Kit hear it?
Oh,
I love it. I started busting out laughing when I heard it. If you don't mind.
No. I mean,
I love it. I heard it. I started busting out laughing. Oh my god.
How do I? I guess I'll. You know what? We'll just. Can you play the first 15 seconds of the last episode of Pro Wrestling Talk we did yesterday? Can you play it here? Because
you're in charge of the ones and twos. I am powerless here.
Oh wait. Can I share my screen here?
Yeah, you should be able to.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, you could share.
Oh yeah, I can.
Yeah, I give everybody permission.
Can you guys see it or?
There we go.
Okay. I actually had it pulled up, honestly, because I was just. So this is the first.
We got ourselves some 3D art or AI art. There you go.
This is AI art I use. So this is the first 15 seconds. So this is the intro.
Tell you something, brother.
Who are these people?
Notice me, senpai. Notice me.
Don't be rude.
Love it.
Who are these people?
Who are these people?
I love it.
Who are those people? That's great.
Yeah, that was our intro.
I love it so much, Angel. That's why I wanted you to show Kit. As soon as I heard it, I was like, God damn, that's awesome.
Indy sent it to me earlier that Saturday, and I'm like, it was supposed to be a trailer, and and I was like, let me just play it as an intro. So I
Yeah.
Who
did
are
it,
these
and
Who are
yeah,
Love
these
it.
people?
yeah, and
Love it.
Tell me
Love it.
about pro
he's
Love it.
like, you could
wrestling.
do whatever you want with this. Okay, yeah, I took the executive decision and made it an intro, but yeah, I had it pulled up as a coincidence. I didn't know you would ask me to play it, but I was like, there it is.
It's a wonderful work of
Two
art,
great
and I
minds,
love it.
Angel.
I
Two
love
great
it.
Yeah.
minds.
I
hmm
absolutely love it.
I know, me too. I started laughing. I'm like, really? You have that okay, brother.
Brother, let me tell you something, brother.
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 Oh, jeez. And I wish I could have like I guess I should put a theme song or a theme together. Maybe after I'm done with all my theme songs, like Kurt's theme song, I'll just do like him just I have some of his recordings that I use for like notifications on my phone, and I'll just have him go,
Uh,
"Nobody beats Mr. Perfect."
nobody.
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 Something like that, And then
Mhm.
that'll just be every time Rumble comes on, it'll just be I don't know, I could probably put that on YouTube, couldn't I?
Yeah.
That's not
Uh,
copyrighted.
well, Kurt just saying nobody's perfect. Nobody. It should be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
It
so
should
I
be
could actually
okay.
put that on. Yeah, I'm thinking about I might
I
do
need a
that
bathroom
for
break.
okay.
Ah!
He drank
Live
all
on
that
air.
he drank
Bathroom.
all that yeah, he drank all that beer. Now he gotta go relieve it.
See now. Here's the thing. All right, little information. See now, thing is, yes, I will have a cup of coffee before I do the show, but at least an hour before then, because you always got to do your pregame dump and your pregame piss before you do the show, man. Always do it, because you never know. Because you never know when you have like bathroom emergency. That's my biggest fear. A booger coming out of my nose, which is why I always
Yeah.
double check. Or either that, like I gotta go to the bathroom. I gotta go to the bathroom. Like you gotta empty it out because I do a 2-hour show, and you obviously do a 2-hour show. We're already an
Mhm.
hour in. We have gone way off talk for Sandman. People are like talk about Sandman more, and we will. We're going.
And we will. As soon as Angel comes back. For now, we're just gonna talk some fun stuff. Yeah, I think I will take some of my notifications. Like, it's just I took some stuff from Kurt's promos, and then I created my own soundboard, so to speak, with Kurt. And I was just like, oh, the heck with it. I'm just gonna have like so every time like a certain uh you know notification will come in, like for an email or something or a text message. For my dad, it's you call me Mr. Perfect. I could do that for like a little intro, but no music, just the intro.
Yeah, that's fine. That should be fine because Indy just created that for us, and he used Hogan's voice, and it's like you see him or
And I
anything.
could just use my collage
Mm.
that I made of Kurt's all these pictures I keep getting off of X, which is freaking awesome. I just got another one. It's like they did an article on Kurt, though it cuts it off, and I'm like, well, where's the other page? I want to read the other page. There's only one page. I'm like,
Yeah,
damn.
I trust Indy when it comes out. I saw Hogan's voice, like, okay, we can use his voice, I guess. Go see when to put it there. So
I was
I
gonna
was
say
like,
if you just use Kurt's voice, I don't think as long as you don't have any copyrighted music, I
no,
think it should
yeah,
be okay for YouTube.
music, and video. That's the problem. If it's somebody's
Yeah,
voice, like,
but if it's audio, it's
yeah,
fine.
yeah, it
Yeah.
should be fine because or else Indy wouldn't give me this. It's like, oh yeah, just use this as your trailer. It's like, okay. Then I was like, fuck it, I'm using I'm using the intro. It's like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah, I'm
know,
gonna put that I'm gonna start doing that on YouTube now. When I do 37 for YouTube, I will put the at the beginning it'll just be like a collage, and it'll be nobody beats Mr. Perfect. Nobody. Or something like that. Or you call me Mr. Perfect or something like that. I don't want to do a whole promo because like or a vignette. I have some of his
just
vignettes.
just one or two sentences should be fine
Yeah.
because it's like, let me tell you something, brother. And it's like that's fine. It's one sentence.
Oh, that's great. Oh yeah, I love that. But anyway, getting back to the Sandman, what were we talking
Yeah,
about? The Sandman. Okay,
Sandman.
so we're on the Raven feud with him, and of course they wanted to up one again. So who did they pick to one up each other with? Sandman's son. So the Sandman's son, Tyler,
Yeah, it's got
would
smacked around.
eventually say, I don't follow you anymore, Dad. I follow Raven, quote the Raven, nevermore. And what they did was brilliant with him. They told him just have, a face like this. Don't smile. Don't laugh.
Ever. And he's like,
Don't
okay, Dad.
ever laugh. Okay, Dad. So they, quote the Raven, nevermore.
Norm.
Yeah, he did a really good job. And
That's all.
Tyler looks like his mom. He looks like his mom. He does not look. He looks a little like his dad, but more like his mom.
Yeah, but see that was crazy too, because even Raven smacked around a kid too a few times. It's like, which was like, you can't do that now. Oh, definitely, that's a big no now.
The angle, it was like, whoa. I mean, Raven.
It was to create that shocking factor.
That piece of shit stole his wife and kid. He's slapping around his kid, and it was like, as a teenager, it's like, look at this piece of shit. What else Raven's doing? Like, he's a cult leader. He was like a cult leader. It reminded me of Charles Manson a little bit.
Quote the Raven, nevermore.
He like Charles Manson. He was still, he would have this cult leader. Like, well, I didn't kill anybody.
Wait, there was
he didn't kill anybody, but I mean, he took a wife and a son, someone else's. He didn't get his own. Is Raven even married? I think he is. Doesn't he have a couple of kids?
I don't know if Scott Levy has any children or not. Maybe.
I know.
Who would put up with him?
I do know that Raven. I think a few times you see him emotional when Funk got under his skin. Have you guys ever seen that promo?
No. I know Funk was in ECW. He was like their godfather.
Oh, so you never saw the Terry Funk in ECW? Hold on, I'm private.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen bits and pieces.
You never. Oh Terry, my God, this was a work of art. Go ahead, shoot, man. I'll find it. I'm gonna send you a private message. You can't play it, but obviously private message. You'll check it out. You know what I'm talking about.
Terry, I happened to run into Terry Funk after ECW shows. Like, hey kid, how you doing? I can't do his voice, but it's like, hey kid, here's an autograph. I lost the autograph.
Really?
I feel bad about it. Yeah, but he gave me an autograph.
A very nice man.
Hey,
outside the ring, he was a very nice man.
Yeah,
I've heard nothing.
Because my older cousins will always take me to the arena and it's like, oh hey kid, here's an autograph. I can't do his voice. I'm terrible.
I sent you the private message for the video clip. It's 2 minutes and 43 seconds of pure gold. If you ever want to see Raven, the character, just snap and be like, I'm not gonna have you get me. You're not gonna goad me. I'm ready to fight you right now. And Terry Funk is like, bring it on. I'm an old man and I love my father too. And you're a piece of shit. Oh, it's great.
I remember this.
Yes.
I just remember Terry Funk in WWF. And it was when he was against McFoley and Stone Cold was commentating. Because I remember Stone Cold saying, 53 or not, he's tougher than hell.
Yeah, Terry was like, what are you doing here, kid? You're so young. I was like 14 or 15. Everybody else was adults. It's like, well, my cousins brought me. What do you want me to do? I mean, it's not my fault.
Aww.
I'm not going to say no. It's wrestling.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. Especially a chance to meet Terry Funk,
Yeah, seriously.
I didn't know Terry would be there. It just happened to be there. Like, hey, kid. It's right before he went to WWF when he had that run as Chainsaw Charlie or something.
I wasn't much for Terry Funk, but I will say I've heard nothing but great things about Terry. Helping younger talent, sacrificing money to, stay in ECW and teach those guys.
You know the story of Terry quitting on Vince, right?
No.
The time when I think he was Intercontinental Champion or he's about to win the title, but he was like, no, I'm going to stay home with my sick horses, which is bullshit. But he just stayed home. He never dropped the Intercontinental title or something. He was champion. I do remember that. He held some kind of belt for Vince and he stayed home.
Really?
He stayed home with his sick horses. That was his story, that. Like he didn't want to lose, so it was like, no, just my horse is sick, Vince. I'm sorry, he never came back. The sick horses story. You if you look it up, you'll know what Terry Funk's sick horses.
I'll have to look that up. I'm not familiar with that. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that either. I do know he. Did Do you guys remember the Terry Funk Jerry Lawler, where Jerry Lawler throws the fire in the face and I'm blinded, or he like takes out supposedly his eye socket or something,
Mhm.
and it was in an empty arena, and he's like, "You son of a bitch, I'll get you, Jerry Lawler." Blah blah blah. Yeah, I remember that from. I had seen some kind of
Oh no, I'm
documentary on
wrong.
Terry.
I was wrong. It was Terry Funk he's about to become Vince's head booker.
Okay.
Oh.
But he's like he didn't want it because he didn't want to work with Vince. So, oh, my horse is sick, Vince. I think he's dying. He never came back. He never called him again.
I mean,
Mm.
Vince McMahon was an acquired taste.
Yeah, that's why he didn't want to work with Vince. That's why I was like, you want me head booker? Yeah, my horse is sick, Vince. I'm sorry, I mean,
Yeah, sorry, I can't.
I'll call you again. And I never called him.
He never called him.
Yeah, he didn't want to work with Vince. That's what it was. Huh?
Yeah. See, and that's the brilliance of ECW. It kind of gave Terry that opening where he could kind of be in control of his own destiny, his own character. And of course you had the hardcore part of him. I don't know how he did it at such an advanced age. But kudos to him because
Terry wrestled until right before his death. I think his last match was a couple years before that.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
he loved the business. He was in the business, second generation. I mean, he could be more in it than even his brother.
Him and his brother Dory were NWA champions at one point.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
I did hear a story. Yeah, I did hear a story that he also his wife caught him with another woman. This is from Dutch Mantel. Caught him with another woman, and he literally convinced her that it never happened.
Old school worker. Is like, what are you talking about? Never happened. What are you crazy?
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? You never.
What you talking about?
What woman? Where?
What woman?
What? Where?
He still got his dick hanging out and stuff.
What woman?
Where?
Oh,
what are you talking about?
Well, I mean, shit. Okay, not another woman. Oh, that one. But I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, I know. What woman? I think you're seeing things, woman.
He's an old school worker. He tricked his wife to even think, well, no woman existed. What are you talking about?
And her and him stayed together the whole time. Now they were on the brink of divorce a couple of times, but again, like that was from Dutch Mantel. He said, yeah, literally they never got divorced because he was able to convince her that there was no other woman. There was no one there.
No.
I'm like, Jerry, you little sly devil, you.
Disregard the knock at the door. Hey, I got your kid here.
I don't know if that happened.
Yeah, exactly.
I do know that from Dutch Mantel, he talked his way out of that one and convinced her there was no woman. So
clever guy.
Very clever guy. So eventually, okay, don't do that. Sorry, I'm hitting buttons apparently, and I didn't mean to hit that button. So we go to basically, like I said, the wife and the son eventually, or not eventually, but we'll go with Raven in their little story angles, which in a way I can see why they kind of did it, but all in all, I think that if you cut right down to the cloth, it was I don't know if I could do it. Like, I don't know if I could do that to my husband. Like, put my face in another wrestler's crotch and look like I'm going to give him a blowjob and then bring my son into it. I don't know. That takes a lot of balls and give it up to Lori for doing it. But then there comes a time when, Tyler was saying how, they went out into, it was like really late at night. It was like 3 or 4 in the morning. Raven had found this like place in bumfuck Egypt. Like there was nothing around. It was just like wooded area, and then made Tyler do a promo, and Tyler did it with the face the way it was, and then he's like, "Can I go back to sleep now?"
Well,
I mean, you're getting a little kid up at 3 or 4 in the morning. I mean, he was like,
"Wait, this was in Egypt."
No,
No, not literally.
No, bumfuck
somewhere-
Egypt. It just
Oh,
means like
Buffalo.
out in nowhere.
Okay, no, yeah, okay, sorry. I was like wondering, like,
No,
whoa,
no,
they flew all the way
somewhere.
out there. Like, hold on, I
No.
would remember
It was a
something
wooded
like that.
area. It was just an
It
abandoned
was somewhere
wooded area.
in
Yeah.
Pennsylvania, probably. You know,
Yeah.
like,
It was
abandoned woody
somewhere like
place.
I call my dad says bumfuck Egypt. It just means like a place that's like completely just desolate.
Yeah, it's somewhere in the woods in Pennsylvania. Probably
Yeah,
plenty
so
of
it's
places
probably near
here
Philly.
in this
Yeah,
area of the
woods
country.
near Philly or something.
Be
But
careful of
Raven,
freshly dug holes, because I know how
Yeah,
Philly.
because I live on a.
I don't know if it
I'm
was a
not-
graveyard, but it was definitely a wooded area.
I was about to say.
Like I
live in
said, be
Tom's
careful of
River.
freshly dug holes.
Yeah,
Somebody
about
could
and
to
be
it was
say-
occupied.
raining too. I think Tyler said it was raining. It was a really nasty morning. And they wanted him. He has his jacket on and very
I remember. I
face
think
and
I've
quote
seen
the
that
Raven
promo. They
nevermore.
aired it.
And then
They
as
aired
soon
it
as
on
they were done
ECW
filming,
television.
he looks at Raven or he looks at what's his name, Steve or Scott? What's Raven's real name?
I just said it. Scott Levy or something. It's Scott Levy. Yeah.
Okay. So he looks at Scott and goes, "Can I go back to sleep now?"
They cut
They
that
put
part out.
that poor kid through hell. And I mean, I could kind of see where Lori was talking about, I didn't want to do it anymore, and I didn't want my kids a part of it anymore. So we just left the business. So they kind of left Sandman to his own demons or devices. And I think that's where he started to really go downhill, because without her, he was kind of, he was still doing the drugs and stuff. I mean, at least the painkillers, at least, because again, he was injured. And
Oh yeah.
there was no coming back from that. But when she left the business. She took Tyler with her. That's where Sandman and Raven came up with okay, we're gonna top each other off again.
Mhm.
And Raven had the thorny crown made out of barbed wire,
Oh,
and this is where the
yes.
idea came up
I
for
was
the
not there that night.
crucifixion. You were
I
not
was
there
not
that
there
night.
that night, but
Be lucky
I
you
was
were
there
not,
afterwards.
because everyone was dead silent.
Yes.
Oh,
You were
I
kids.
would love to actually comment on this, please, because as we,
Right. Let me lead you into it. So
okay,
the
Yeah, go
scene is
ahead.
Raven talks about how they wanted to one up each other. They wanted to keep going with their feud. So they made the idea to make a cross. Sandman made it himself. Raven
a
says,
carpenter.
I had the barbed wire,
Mhm.
crown that looked like a thorny crown, and we were going to pretend to basically, crucify this dude with his wife and son in the, like, what are we doing? Everybody's hushed. No one's saying really anything. So Kit, take it from there.
So obviously you did bring it down, like the Sandman carpenter on the side did some woodwork, set it all.
Yes,
Set,
and in fact, he had
all
done
of it was set
construction
up.
too.
But what people do not know is that there was a certain Olympic athlete there, first name Curt, last name Angle, who was also there at ECW. There was
like
also
Olympic
a couple
hero.
of people from Fox News, or at least Fox Corporation, the media network, as well. Anybody who was anything of some significance. First of all, Kurt Angle. He also had some people from the Fox Corporation there as well. And the thing is, no one knew exactly what Raven and Sandman were going to do, and they did their feud, and it was a fight made legend. But Joey Styles, who also gave his comment about the rise and fall of ECW,
He was a Christian. Remember that.
went on to add, like, look, 90% of this country is Christian. This was him at the video at the time. And so no one saw what Raven was doing. And so as Sandman got defeated, as Sandman got destroyed, they're doing something. No one knows what they're doing. Raven and his flock surrounding him. But Sandman, to his quote, and it will be backed up by Raven as well, and anyone else, the Blue Meanie, I think it was the Blue Meanie who said it.
Blue Meanie, Steven Richards was there.
Blue Meanie said, guys, this is fucked.
This is fucked up.
This is fucked up. And Raven, to his credit, Sandman said this too. I know. And so as soon as they did it, there he is. Pull him up, put him on the ropes, cross. Whole stadium
silent.
Complete. Yeah, it was
the whole
really
bar
quiet.
silent.
What? Yeah,
That's what
quiet.
they
And
said in the document in the Dark Side of the Ring. It was
And he's like,
literally like you could hear a pin
whoa.
drop. That's how
Mhm.
quiet it was in that arena.
Yep,
Yeah.
Raven crucified, and then as they carried him out, there's Sandman still dead
like
on
this.
it. And
Yep.
then people started talking. Fox News corporate people like, yeah, hey, Paulie,
Hey,
great
what
stuff.
the fuck?
Paulie, what the fuck? And then everyone in the locker room, even who was Shane's like cheer, because the way Paulie had Shane, he was like the jock of the group, right?
Francine.
Francine
yeah.
was
what's the
yelling at
cheerleader?
Paulie like, "How dare you can't believe! Did you know about this, Paulie? Did you?
I swear to God, I didn't know.
Yeah, and Paulie is trying to do damage control
Yeah.
to the best of his ability for a situation, understandably, out of his control. He had no control over this whatsoever.
Nobody knew about it.
Yeah,
I mean,
nobody.
He's definitely the booker, so the booker definitely knew
Paulie-
it, and he definitely okayed it.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah,
there
well,
was a thing in the back where I think
there's a
Kurt
little bit
Angle
more.
was just about to do something. He said, "And you air this, I swear I don't
I
even
will
put
sue
my
you."
name on
No,
this." And
yeah,
then
yeah,
Paulie
no,
goes,
Kurt,
"Fuck you," and then Kurt goes, "Fuck you too."
well, no, Kurt said that I better not see my face, my name, any photos anywhere near this, because Kurt just really got pissed. Like
Yeah,
you know
he
the
was gonna
meme.
sue him.
But I mean,
Right.
to be honest, I mean, fuck Kurt Angle and his stupid little bullshit. Oh, I'm a Christian.
Like
and
I
I'm the
said-
Pope too. Go fuck yourself. You
Yeah,
know?
like I said last night on the show. I mean,
Yeah.
Kurt Angle. A year later, Undertaker would crucify Steve
Do it
Austin
to
very
Austin.
similar
He
way.
didn't say
Oh,
fucking
yep,
He
shit.
did nothing.
Right,
He didn't
right.
say
He
nothing.
said
Then.
nothing.
But then it was starting to get a little bit crazier, because then Paulie, with the amount of pressure, had to go up to Raven and say, "Hey, Raven, I need you to go out there and
apologize."
And
he
Sandman,
did it half-assed. That's
Sandman
what
was
Raven
pissed.
said.
No, Sandman was pissed because, first of all,
Yeah.
and people were saying like, "Hey, you guys should go out there and wrestle again." Sandman said, first of all,
Bullshit.
this is our arc, this is our story.
Right.
It's bullshit that Raven apologized. Raven shouldn't apologize.
Why
Raven
would
should
Raven
apologize at all.
apologize?
Yeah.
No.
That's not his character. And because this is from another documentary. This is where because
Yes,
it
was the other one.
Yeah, because then as Sandman's drinking the beer, he's like, because Stone Cold got crucified by
Undertaker, and nobody said shit.
Kurt Angle said dick.
And he said, "What do you think about that, Angle?" Kurt,
Yep.
Yeah, he didn't say dick.
yeah, and he
Yeah,
didn't say shit.
anything.
But the funniest part was then like, wrestle him again. I got crucified. I'm not gonna rise until Easter.
Yeah, Sandman did say that.
Well, I know someone got in the back. Someone in the back was like giving it to Paul E, and Paul E basically said, "Go fuck yourself." And he said, "Well, you go fuck yourself." So
It was probably Francine.
This.
It was probably Francine, because Francine was very vocal about it. Kurt
Okay.
Angle and maybe a few others, but a lot of people were just like shocked, like, "Whoa, Paulie, did you know?"
Whoa.
No. Yeah, and
Of course he knew. He had to,
I
hey,
think
he was the
Paulie had
booker.
to have known.
I think it was hinted they were going to do something, but even Paulie, I want to defend Paulie here and say he might not have known it all in its full entirety. He knew something was going to happen.
He had to have known.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to bat for Paulie. Hashtag Paulie's innocent. Paulie's innocent. I'm going
he
to
had
bat
to
for
know
Paulie.
at least something was going to go down because he had to approve it there. So
Paul was one of the greatest minds in modern wrestling, but he
I think they still pulled it off, and
he had to have known something was going to happen.
And what Scott said was, I did an apology that wasn't an apology. I didn't really freaking mean it.
It was.
I mean,
he said the exact words were, "I made it as insincerely as sincere as possible."
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so fuck that guy. Fuck
Mm.
Kurt Angle wanted to be like the boy next door in fucking ECW. Well, then get out of ECW, because that was not extreme. That was just, I'm the guy I'm the boy next door. I'm the all-American boy next door. Fuck you.
Kurt won the '96 Olympics, and after that,
but that doesn't mean you go and act like the boy next door.
Yeah, he appeared in ECW right after his gold medal win in '96.
I mean, he was more for the WWF, not for Extreme.
I don't know why he appeared in ECW. I'm surprised he did.
Yeah, I'm surprised he did that too.
And here's the fun part. I was doing some research quite by accident. I was watching a bunch of, titlematch.com things, some interviews. And I mean, I didn't know that Rick Rude was also in ECW. Now, he did not wrestle, he was a manager, but he didn't really have fun there. But I mean, he at least was there and he managed a couple of people, like Shane Douglas, I think, talked about this. So,
I don't remember Rick Rude in ECW.
no, I
Unless
didn't
I'm
either.
forgetting.
I was like, Rick Rude went. It was very brief. It was like a couple weeks he was there, and then he moved on to WCW. Or he went back to WCW to manage Curt. Yeah, this would have been right before he managed Curt and came back from. Well, he would go to WWF, and then the whole thing with the Montreal Screwjob would happen, and then Rick would come back to WCW.
He was Shawn Michaels' insurance policy. That's in reference to Rick
he did
Rude's
not like
insurance
Shawn
policy.
Michaels. Let me tell you, Rick Rude hated Shawn Michaels.
Of course.
He was Shawn Michaels' insurance policy in reference to Rick
him and
Rude's
Brett
Lloyd of
and
London
Curt
policy.
And Rick Rude, Jim Neidhart, and the British Bulldog would all hang out at the bar together, and they would do like things, like amateur wrestling stuff. They would try to get Rick Rude off of his feet or off his knees. Like he would get on all fours on his knees and hands, and they would try to wrestle him to the ground.
Impossible.
And everyone says that Rick and Curt were the hardest to get off there, to get on the ground. Because, I mean, Curt and Rick had amateur wrestling backgrounds.
Rick Rude was a legit badass.
Yeah,
badass.
you didn't fuck with him, dude.
Yeah.
No.
No.
I'm like,
I've told the story about Eric Bischoff and how Eric Bischoff was scared of him.
Yeah, because Rick had a gun in the trunk of a car, and Bischoff said, "Oh yeah, you didn't hear this story?
You don't know the story?"
Bischoff says it on 83 Weeks when they talk about Rick Rude. So yeah, apparently Rick was hurt, or he was going away somewhere. I think he was hurt.
Leaving.
Yeah, he was leaving WCW, and they said, "Okay, well, you have to give us the belt back." And Eric Bischoff went with him, and he opened the trunk, and he said Rick was drunk as a skunk, and he opened the trunk, and there was a shotgun.
Yeah, next
to it was the belt, and he said, shit, if anything's gonna go down, Rick's gonna kill me right here, right now."
God damn it.
Grabbed the belt, handed it to Eric Bischoff, and shut the trunk, and nothing was ever said again.
Yeah.
Good.
But Eric was scared to death. He was like,
he was scared to death that Rick was gonna.
There's the U.S. title, and it's like, yo, my guns are there. Like,
he was scared to live and death that this dude was gonna shoot him. And
shoot him.
Honestly, I think the only thing is, I think maybe Angel, you know this because you probably heard the same interview I did with Eric Bischoff on 83 Weeks. This is before I stopped listening. Literally, Eric Bischoff was asked to leave Rick Rude's funeral, and it's because there were some bad feelings there. Apparently, Rick had asked Bischoff to pay off his Lloyds of London policy because he did not have the money. And Bischoff said, "I can't, Rick. I don't have the money." Well, that's a lie because Bischoff had money, but he wouldn't help out Rick. So when he went to Rick Rude's funeral, he was asked by Rick's sister to please leave.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they never really talked about it after that. It was kind of just, Rick held a grudge.
Had access to that Turner money. He could have paid it off. He
could have paid it off, and Rick could have came back. But unfortunately, Rick would go on to manage Curt in 97 and 98.
I'm like, that Turner money. I mean, he had the Turner money. He's like, "Oh no, I don't have the money." It's like, he had the money for Hogan.
He literally told Rick Rude, "I don't have the money to do that."
Yeah, but he had the money for Hogan.
He had the money for Hogan though.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure at this point, like, when was again the downfall of the ECW was like what? I mean, not ECW, WCW was like what, 2000 or something like that. 2001. When was Rick Rude let go?
Of ECW or WCW?
WCW.
99.
99.
Okay,
in 98.
Here's the thing. Obviously, 99. It was the beginning stages of the final days of WCW. So I mean, maybe there had to been some money troubles then. There could have been.
Vice is producing a series with The Rock called "Who Killed WCW?"
Who killed
if you know.
WCW? I
Which
think
I
it,
know it's Turner Broadcasting. They killed WCW. I don't
Of
know why
course.
that
they're
and Vince
producing a series.
Russo. Vince
AOL.
Russo.
Wait. AOL. It was AOL that killed.
It was AOL
Yeah.
Time Warner who killed
Yeah.
WCW.
But also
ultimately.
Vince Russo, because I mean, you talk about some of the shittiest storylines I've ever heard of, making himself
Vince
the fucking WCW. You might as well have just pissed in everybody's face who had that
Vince
WCW
Russo.
heavyweight belt, and then he
Vince
gave it to fucking
Russo.
David Arquette, which was
Oh
even
God,
worse.
fucking A.
Vince Russo without Vince McMahon is nothing.
Yeah.
I guess I
No,
don't
no,
know.
but Vince was the editor for Vince Russo. It's like, oh, let's do all this shit. It's like, oh yeah, pal, I'll take this, this, and this, and the rest of that shit you can fuck yourself with. And
Yeah,
that's why they were so good in WWF because Vince McMahon was his editor. He's like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll do this. I'll change this. This one kernel, your idea, Vince, is good, and the rest of that shit, go fuck yourself with. I'll do whatever I want, and that's how WWF was so successful.
I mean, okay, and I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, Vince Russo must have got a big head about himself and thought
Yeah.
he was the shit because he came.
Well,
Oh, I came up with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
yeah,
And it
he
drew money.
said,
Well, yeah, it drew money.
yeah, he said he came up with
That's the
Austin
only
and The
thing that drew
Rock.
money.
He came up with Austin and The Rock. He took credit for that. I'm like, yeah,
Oh
no,
no,
no
fuck
shit,
you.
bitch. Austin and Steve Austin, Dwayne Johnson came up with that, and Vince
Yeah,
McMahon.
and
Yeah.
He
Vince,
had very
yeah,
little to do with that.
because it all had to do with The Rock being on the corporate sellout, and then
Mhm.
Austin being the fighting from behind,
The
underdog
anti-hero babyface.
employee
Yeah.
who wanted that stuff. And like I said, the whole thing where Austin, eventually will sell out to Vince kind of
Uh,
wasn't time for it yet, but I mean, I
no, it
see
was
where Austin was
dead.
coming from. Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't like that. I didn't
in
like where he sold
2000,
out to Vince. Yeah.
that was 2001, and I was
Mhm.
and I watched that pay-per-view that night, and it was like, oh yeah, Steve Austin's a champion. He shook Vince's hand.
He
Why?
shook Vince's hand. Yeah. It wasn't time for his
Why?
character because people
Why did that
refused to
happen?
boo Stone Cold after
Yeah,
that.
why did that happen? It's like, okay, maybe Steve Austin's tricking Vince. I mean, I literally
That's
Yeah.
made
exactly what
myself
I
into
thought too.
knots
Oh, he's gonna stun
to
him any
figure
minute
out.
now.
Yeah, I tricked
Mhm.
myself into knots to figure out why did he shake Vince's hand? Okay, must be
Yeah.
tricking him. We'll find
Yeah.
out tomorrow night on Raw. He stuns him again. He's like, no, that's not. He literally turned heel. I was like,
Yeah, he
oh,
literally turns heel and sells out.
oh,
But
that
I mean,
sucks.
when you when you look back at that, the thing I tend to not agree because if you actually read Curt Hennig's letter about Rick Rude, he was actually like 2 days before he had passed accidentally.
Mhm.
Um,
Hmm.
no, not a lot of people know this, but Rick Rude had been in a motorcycle accident and actually was taking Vicodin for pain that I think he cracked a couple of ribs in this accident. It might have been a car accident or a motorcycle accident, but he had cracked a couple of ribs in it and he was taking
Hmm.
obviously Vicodin for it.
Mhm.
And then of course the alcohol didn't help. So, Vicodin and alcohol just don't.
I
No.
am so sorry, but somebody's knocking at my door. I see it on my camera, and I got to find out who that is real quick.
Okay,
So,
go ahead.
well,
Go ahead.
I shall return. Let me go ahead and mute my mic here real quick.
All right, go ahead.
So while we wait for him to come back, Angel, I know we were talking last night briefly about the ECW and stuff.
Yeah.
When did you stop watching it? Like when did you say,
Um,
okay, I've had enough of this, I'm not gonna watch it anymore?
about excuse me. About 2000.
About 2000? Was it starting to get stale
This,
for you, or is it
yeah,
just
this is around the time when Mike Awesome was ECW champion,
okay?
and he left for WCW, and they had the whole when and Paul Lee called Vince. He's like, "Oh, can I have Taz?" So they have WCW in Mike Awesome versus WWF Taz, and
Okay.
Taz won the ECW championship.
Okay.
Even though none of them were ECW at that point, I'm like, what
Okay.
the fuck? This is bullshit. No, I'm done
Wow.
with this. And then on SmackDown that Friday night, it was Triple
Mhm.
H versus Taz. So WWF
Right.
champion versus DCW champion, which is Taz. and
Okay.
and Triple H beat him in 5 minutes. There was nothing. It's like, okay, boom, 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 pedigree 1, 2, 3. It's like, oh yeah, fuck, ECW's done. Like ECW was a joke at that point.
It kind of seems that way now that
It was a
you.
joke. Vince, David, they screwed it. Taz was the color commentator at that point
Yeah.
for
Yeah, he
SmackDown
was more commentating than wrestling at that point, I
in
think.
2000, and Triple H
Yeah.
was WWF champion, which was a big deal. He's a top guy in WWF. Even though I didn't take him seriously then because I'm like, yeah, he's just Shawn Michaels' bitch. At that point, I was like,
Mm.
but yeah, I mean, he beat Taz in 5 minutes. I'm like, yeah, I mean, Taz is the commentator now. I mean, I don't take him as seriously as he did a few years ago,
And I don't think
94 to
anyone else did
98.
either.
No, by that point, he was just a
Mm-mm.
commentator.
Now,
He
there
was just a
was a match.
He was just a color guy. Go ahead. Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say there is a match between Taz and, of course, Curt Hennig, that I absolutely love, and I mean, Curt doesn't win because Taz puts him in a submission move or something, I think, or puts him in some kind of his finisher, I think.
The Taz mission.
Yeah. So
it's
and
basically this. It's like a
yeah,
Yeah.
and Curt taps, obviously. So
yeah.
there is another match with RVD that Curt had, and I didn't tell Kit this, but I saw on X Tommy Dreamer was talking about how blessed he was to face Curt, and he was Curt's last WWF match, I think, at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he said,
so.
I'm very blessed to have, known Curt and done this match with him.
Okay.
And I said, Tommy Dreamer, I'm not a bot. I would love to interview you on my show. So I have put some feelers out to Tommy Dreamer.
Tommy
to
Dreamer.
talk to him. Yeah,
I would love
Dream
to talk
Man.
to that man, because let me tell you something. Where getting back to Sandman, like where Tommy Dreamer was taking the lashings from the Sandman.
Yep.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Yes, he did that. I was like, really?
Even
You're getting the dog ass
Sandman
whipped out of you, dude.
Thank you, sir, man. Take another.
Yeah, but see, here's the
Yeah.
thing, like it was all kind of, but even Sandman was like quivering, like holy shit, like because
Holy
everyone
shit.
everyone in the audience was like saying like Tommy, it's okay, whatever, like stop, Tommy.
Yeah.
Stop,
And
no.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. May I have another? Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys
They
know
had
the
that in the
story
dark
about?
side. Yeah.
Do you guys know the story about Tommy Dreamer nearly killed Paul Heyman
No. Please
in
share.
WrestleMania 17? The night where Austin turned heel
Oh, really?
on Vince. It was in Texas, so he found out that Paul Lee got the job with Vince doing the color, and he was depressed, and he was like, fuck, I'm gonna kill Paul Lee. I'm gonna take a gun, I'm gonna go to WrestleMania 17 and buy a ticket and murder Paul Lee on live television, on pay-per-view.
Oh my god.
So he nearly did it. He was serious. He bought a gun and he bought a weapon and everything until JR called him. JR called him that night. And he's like, "Oh, don't worry. We're thinking about you. We'll give you a job. Don't worry." For some whatever reason, JR called him. JR was head of talent relations at the time. So he called Tommy Dreamer. He's like, "Oh, we got a job for you. Like, don't worry about it. Just don't do it." For whatever reason, JR called him. I don't know what JR was thinking, but he had an instinct to call him. He's like, "Oh yeah, we got a job for you. Don't worry about it." And he never did anything to Paul Lee. Wow. But he was ready to,
take him out. Yeah.
Yeah, take him out.
Shit.
Take out Paul Lee live on television on pay-per-view and take out himself. Let's say that. Right there on live pay-per-view.
Oh my gosh.
If that happened, we remember WrestleMania 17 for all the wrong reasons today. If that happened.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
So
At least JR had the
called him for whatever reason. Yeah, he called him. He told him to call Tommy Dreamer and say, "Look, we got a job for you after WrestleMania, so don't worry."
Well, and like I said, and like I said, Curt, I'm sure enjoyed all of the people. So like when he came back, he was fighting like Kane, and he was fighting RVD, Taz. Tommy Dreamer, there's all kinds of matches there. And I liked them. I thought they were awesome. I just wish that his feud with Austin would have gone a little longer because it didn't make any sense.
What?
Okay, so Austin pulls him out of the Royal Rumble, and he loses the Royal Rumble because of Austin, and now they have one match, and that's it.
He
Never
had
hear of the
one
feud again.
match. He won
One
a-
match.
well, he had one match on Sunday Night Heat or something. I saw that match.
Yeah.
It was
And
really
then the
good.
NWO comes out, and the NWO. First of all,
I
I
was
don't. Why would they put the NWO versus Austin when they were sort of fighting for the same things?
Yeah.
It didn't make any any sense.
It was WrestleMania 18 where Austin faced Scott Hall.
Right.
Was it? It was 18, wasn't it?
Wait. Hold on. Let's see. We'll do the
I'm
Destiny.
not sure.
We'll
I
do-
kind of
we'll-
stopped
I know
watching that.
Austin wrestled Scott Hall. It was the same WrestleMania where Hogan
Yeah.
wrestled Rock.
Yeah.
Let's see. WrestleMania 18. Hogan versus The Rock.
Yes, that it was
Um,
Austin versus Scott Hall.
Yeah. So yeah, you had Rikishi and Sky Tuhati and Albert defeated Mr. Perfect, Lance Storm, and Test. Rob Van Dam defeated William Regal. Diamond Dallas Page, DDP, defeated Christian. You had Maven versus Goldust.
Really?
Kurt
Kurt
Angle
was
versus
at WrestleMania 18?
Kurt Angle.
Hennig?
Yeah, Kurt Angle
No,
defeated Kane.
Kurt Hennig.
Oh,
Yeah,
Kurt
yeah.
Hennig, no, wasn't he?
The
was.
He
Undertaker.
said Mr. Perfect.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
said
Mr. Perfect. Mr. Perfect. Yeah, I'm looking at him right. I'm using Wikipedia, by the way. So that's I'm just pulled it up here on the wiki. So you
Oh,
had
wow.
Rikishi, Scotty first for Rikishi, Scotty Tuhati, and Albert defeated Mr. Perfect, Lance Storm, and Test. It was a 6-man tag team.
Oh.
And it
Oh,
was a,
Yes.
okay.
Yes,
Well,
I
I also
remember
know
that.
that Kurt
I
and
remember Kurt
the
Hennig
Big
was
Boss
at that.
Man, teamed up together. But I don't
Right.
remember him at WrestleMania 18. I'll have to look that up.
yeah, and then you had Kurt Angle defeated Kane, Undertaker defeated Ric Flair, woo! Edge
Yes, I remember
defeated
that.
Booker T, Steve
Mhm.
Austin defeated Scott Hall,
Yeah,
and you
Scott
had
Hall. Mhm.
Billy and Chuck defeated the APAP, and then you
Yes.
had the Dudley Boys and Devon, Dudley Boys with Stacy Keibler and the Hardy Boys. So it was a four corners tag team match. The Rock defeated Hulk Hogan.
Yes,
Jazz
that-
defeated Trish Stratus, and Triple H defeated Chris Jericho. Y2J.
Oh, thank
That
God. I
match.
hated Chris Jericho. I didn't really
Triple
like
H.
Triple H, but I definitely hated Chris Jericho.
Jericho versus Triple H was a ridiculous main event. Hogan and Rock
Yeah.
should have gone on last, but you know,
Right.
Triple H, his ego is, oh no, I gotta go on last. I'm gonna win the title. It was like bullshit.
Jericho
It's
too. I
Hogan
mean,
versus The
Jericho was
Rock.
not main event material.
Bullshit. How are you gonna top Hogan and Rock? You can't.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't.
And that
Can't
they
do
made
it.
that stupid idiot Chris Jericho, who I can't. He looks like a fat ET with all that skin hanging
Hey,
off of him.
You
If
take
you see- if
that
you
back
see-
for ET. He didn't do anything wrong.
No,
No, I'm
if
saying
you-
he's got loose skin. He's
if you
old
see-
and fat and bleh.
I don't know if you've seen Jericho today, but I
Yes.
saw him on Wednesday night. He looks awful. He looks
Yeah,
exactly
he
like
looks
Steph said.
awful. He literally he has skin hanging off of him. He looks like an old fucking man, literally trying
And he
to
had the bathroom
wrestle.
break.
Okay.
Another bathroom break.
All right, so in that case, we'll talk about something else. So yeah, I didn't remember Mr. Perfect at WrestleMania 18.
Yeah,
I
no,
thought
he
they
was
left
there.
him off of it.
No, he's there, and he was part of this 3-man tag team match, and
All right,
he
well,
was
we
there.
will be watching along to that match just sometime down the road, probably.
Yeah,
It'll be
and it was
like
about-
episode 50 or something.
3 minutes and 6 seconds. So okay. In fact, the two longest matches were the Undertaker versus first one was Undertaker versus Ric Flair. Then you had
Mhm.
Triple H versus Chris Jericho. Both were like 18 minutes, 18 minutes and 40 seconds plus. The Taker one was Ric Flair was 7 seconds more. And
Okay.
then you have The Rock versus Hulk Hogan
Mhm.
at 16 minutes 24 seconds, which really that should have been the main one. Rock versus Hulk Hogan.
Yeah,
and
and I agree
yeah.
with Angel that I mean they literally screwed themselves there with Jericho because Jericho is mid card at best. At
Mhm.
best, he is not a main eventer.
Well,
He
Triple
never
H
was.
was like, well, I need to go on last because I'm winning WWF titles, so I need to go on last.
Well, they never should have given the title to
And-
Jericho
and
in the
Vince-
first place.
And Vince was like, "Okay, well, you're my son-in-law, so obviously you're gonna last, right?"
Yeah, it's not who you know, it's who you blow. Okay.
Ha!
So and Triple H blows Stephanie, so that's the daughter. But
Or
going back
eats.
to he eats, yeah, he eats well, I'm sure. Good for him.
Yes.
Um, so let's get back to the Sandman because we sort of skewed off again, but that's okay. I like that. I like that we're keeping this, at least a couple hours. So eventually the Sandman kind of falls to the wayside again. His kids and his wife are kind of getting back into an old lifestyle where they're at home, the kids are at school, trying to maintain a good life. Sandman's by himself and he's starting to spiral out of control. He's doing all kinds of bad
Yeah.
things.
Here we go.
Everyone is starting to, now that Paul E is running out of money, everyone's starting to skedaddle either to WCW or to WWF. And eventually Sandman will do that too. But I think it was more the last couple of days, like the last year of WCW. I don't remember uh I don't remember Hack, and I sure as heck don't remember the Sandman being in WCW. So I must have stopped watching WCW. I did when in 2000 after the whole Curt Hennig versus Sean Stasiak. Sean Stasiak was trying to become the perfect one. So
Yes.
Kurt was going to hand him that perfect gimmick, the gimmick of like Mr. Perfect, but it was called the Perfect One. And I remember Sean Stasiak came out to Kurt's old music. So they gave Kurt's music that he used in WWF as Mr. Perfect. They gave it to Sean Stasiak. I'm guessing they could use it because as long as he didn't call himself Mr. Perfect, there was no copyright or trademark, induction there. So if the Sandman had come in afterwards, I don't remember any of that because I literally stopped watching after Kurt left, and he left in 2000. And he would go on to do a few indie circuits because I just found one where he was on an indie circuit with the guy who's in a country music video, Chris Harris. He would be in a music video, a country music video called I Can't Lie to Me. And Chris Harris has a belt and, he's like this. And that was in 2000 when that came out. So they had in this match, it's Kurt and Harris in the ring, and this, I think it's Dawn Marie. She goes in indie circuits. She comes out and she's just like standing around because that's how the music video is. He's Chris Harris is remembering his ex. So it's I Can't Lie to Me is kind of like, he's really in love with his ex. His ex broke up with him and he's like a sucker for her. He can lie to everybody else and say, "Oh, she walked away. Who cares?" But he can't lie to himself that he's still very much in love with his ex. And if you listen to the song, you can listen to it on YouTube. It's called "I Can't Lie to Me" by Clay Davidson. It's a very very cool, awesome song. Loved it when I heard it. And it has Jerry Lawler in it in the music video as well. So it has Chris Harris, and it also has Jerry Lawler in it. So if you want to check that out on YouTube. You should be able to find it.
Yeah.
I Can't Lie to Me by Clay Davidson. So they kind of did similar things that they did in that music video. So Dawn Marie will come out and just kind of stand there at ringside and stare at Chris Harris. She had nothing to do with Kurt. Kurt was there. He was champion of this. He was the heavyweight champion of this indie circuit. And, eventually will leave the circuit and go back to WWF. But I mean, if Sandman had come in after I stopped watching, unfortunately, I don't remember Hack is what his gimmick was, and I think that was very small lived because I mean, eventually in 2000 and then 2001, of course, in September, WWF or WCW would become WWF. Everyone remembers Shane McMahon coming out on WCW and saying basically, hey, we bought WCW. It's no more. It's now the WWF. So everyone remembers that day. It was September, I think 9th or something. Something like it was before 9/11. I remember that. I think.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was March of 2001.
Yeah.
Hmm
Yeah.
I remember that because it's right before 9/11, and Shane came to the ring and he's like,
Yep.
"Yes, there's a McMahon on this signature, but it's Shane McMahon." And Vince,
It's Shane
Bum,
McMahon.
bum,
That's right.
bum. And Vince
And
was like,
Shane
"Ah."
really wanted WCW. He wanted to control it. So they would have kept it WCW, but it wouldn't have been a Turner broadcasting. It would have
no,
been a
Mc,
WWF McMahon. Yeah.
yeah,
And for some reason Vince wouldn't give Shane that
mm-mm.
satisfaction.
Yeah, no.
So eventually WCW would become WWF. And like I said, the Sandman kind of just, fell by the wayside. He really didn't want to go to WWF. He just had no desire
Well,
to work for Vince.
he would
Um
go years later
Years
when,
later. Okay.
yeah, when ECW, when Vince decided to renew ECW.
Okay.
Yeah, and then he was also part of the promo where Vince, I don't know why they greenlit this, won the ECW Heavyweight Championship, and he was like, Vince and Kennedy McMahon having the ECW Championship
Yeah,
makes me want to vomit.
Yeah,
Vince was the
and he
ECW
says so.
champion.
Yeah, he says as much in this documentary of the Dark Side of the Ring. This is where I would say the Sandman was at his worst because literally he would, uh, he would overdose. This is before ECW went under, but he would overdose and then he'd be in the hospital. He'd wake up, pull all the stuff out, and just go to the arena like nothing ever happened. He wouldn't even
Hmm
stay to detoxify all the way. Um,
Yeah,
and the wife makes a comment, oh well, he should have been dead years ago because
yeah.
I mean he was just doing so much drugs. In fact, his daughter talks about the fact that she actually had to go to several ATMs and get because he had gotten to a fight with someone and ended up in jail. And the daughter, they posted bail. It was $10,000. I wouldn't even have $10,000 to help my dad get out of jail. Um, so I mean, but there was a back in the 2000s, you were at least able to get like 2,200, maybe 3,000 out of an ATM. Now you can only
Yeah.
get like 300
Well,
out of an
yeah,
ATM.
wow, you
Yeah.
well, back
Yeah,
in the day
I
you could
know
get more
because
of
I
that
used
because I
to.
remember I remember I only could pull out 400 a long time ago. That's the most
Well,
I've
now
ever.
you can only pull out 300, and it's not just you can't just go to different ATMs like they could
Uh-huh.
in the early 2000s because they went to several ATMs. You could pull 3,000 out of this one, but you had to pull three. You could also pull 3,000 out of another ATM. Now you can only pull out 300 a day. Period.
Uh-huh.
Even
hmm
if you went to another ATM, I know I've tried
Jeez.
it. I know I've tried it.
Yeah.
And back when I had my child support card, I actually had to get the money off of the card because I screwed up and didn't
Yeah.
get direct deposit then. But now it's in direct deposit. So, but yeah, I could only pull out $300 a day. I couldn't
Wow.
if I went to another ATM, it would say, "Sorry, you've reached your maximum you can pull out."
Wow.
So
Wow.
yeah, but literally, this daughter she's a freaking saint because I
Mhm.
wouldn't have the money to do this for my dad.
Mhm.
And I love my dad to death. I would try anything I could to get him out of jail if he was in jail. But
Mhm.
like, I mean, they literally went around to ATMs and they went to like 10 ATMs before they had the $10,000. And they went and paid the bail, got him out of jail. And, the daughter says, she wasn't really angry at him. She was just more angry that, you know, he kind of went, I'm sorry. And she was just kind of mad that she had to go around to ATMs. Like, I mean, you had to pay cash in those days for bail.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there was just no, oh, here, put it on my credit card and that kind of thing. So, um, I'm pretty sure nowadays you could probably get bail on a credit card, but I mean, that's the only way I'd be able to pay for it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But yeah, she was pretty pissed about that. Though she has no ill will towards her father. Tyler still talks to him. They didn't have the other two kids. I thought he only had two children. So the other two children were not on Dark Side. But the closing of it was, I did a lot of dumb shit in my life, but I'm clean now. I'm living happily as I can, and he's still alive today. So he better thank whoever he prays to that he is
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
alive and around to tell the business, side of it. So as we wrap up here, closing
Yeah.
thoughts of the Dark Side of the Ring and the Sandman. Kit, we'll
Well,
start with you.
yeah, well, first, obviously, to everyone watching, obviously, we cannot show the video. I mean, I would love to show the video clips,
Yeah.
but please check it out for yourselves. I really like that we did get a chance to talk about ECW on this show, and and at least give a highlight to somebody who did contribute to the overall history and performance of wrestling. Are all these wrestlers perfect? No, no such thing.
Except for Mr. Perfect.
Except for stop, I said it before you. But I think the story of the Sandman is one of someone who had his fair share of inner demons that he had to face off against. And I want to say, like, look, if he's overcome his addictions and his problems, more power to him. I know a lot of people who struggle with a lot of emotional issues and scars and substance abuse, and it's a very serious thing. And for all those watching, don't give up on the people who are in need of help, because you might be their last lifeline. And it's important that we see that while these wrestlers play characters larger than life, they are people, and they have gone through their fair share of triumphs and tragedies. So check out Dark Side of the Ring, Story of Sandman.
Miss Witchy Perfect, you did it. You did it with the show with ECW. Yeah, Miss Witchy Perfect.
That's my Sandman impression.
That's Miss Witchy Perfect. That's right. What, Raven? He doesn't apologize. Oh yeah, what? You want So Cold to come down? What do you think about that angle?
Yeah. Angel, you're next.
Did you talk about me?
Yeah.
I lost my headphones there.
Oh, you lost your headphones.
I was
All
trying
right,
to
you're
finish
up.
off the.
You're next.
Your last will and testament. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I understand the mental issues and the issues with alcohol and stuff, because my father was an alcoholic, and here I am just drinking 40 ounces plus in beer. But like father like son. But seriously though, I mean it's like, I understand. I grew up with alcoholic fathers, so I have my own issues too. Like I hate to make it about me, but I'm bipolar, and I have my own issues, and my own demons to say. And I've been through quite a bit in my life. So yeah, I mean, I understand completely where these wrestlers come from, more than your average person would. And I just, I just want to. I'm glad that Sandman is still alive, and he's still with us, and he's been through all those issues. So I understand where he comes from more than your average person would. I mean, I a couple of years ago, I was close to um
Self-deletion.
yes, a couple years ago. And I really, only reason why I'm still here is because I didn't have the I didn't do it for reasons. And I'm still here with you guys. And I'm grateful, because or else I wouldn't be here. Let's just say that. But yeah, I mean,
And we're glad you're here. Come on, man.
We
I
are, yeah.
appreciate
We're glad
I
you reached
appreciate
out.
that a lot, because before I started streaming, and before I started doing, I felt like completely alone. And I hate to be a downer ending this episode, but yeah, I mean, I was close. I was close to not being here, let's say. And I started, if it wasn't for the video making and streaming, I probably would not be here today. So I'm grateful for all of you for supporting me. And I hate to be a downer, but that's just
No, you're not.
thinking
You're
about.
not being a
No,
downer.
I mean you feel what these wrestlers felt. It's kind of like
Yes.
how Curt felt in his last days too, which is
Mhm.
why people were like, "Oh, well, he gave up, his kids for drugs." Curt was not a druggie, okay?
No,
He knew he had no hope. He was in a dark place like you, Angel, and
I
he just
was,
didn't
yeah.
see. You saw a way out of it, whereas Curt didn't. And
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. Hmm.
and in his documentary, The Life and Times of Mr. Perfect, if you guys want to check that out, they do have that on Peacock. So if you want to check that out, a lot of people blame themselves. I know Wade Boggs, he blames himself for Curt not reaching out or him not reaching out
Hmm.
to Curt. I think a lot of us all feel responsible, and we wish we could have reached out to him and gave him some hope. But things just happen the way they happen. But wherever Curt is, I'm sure he's out of that misery and that pain. And,
Yeah.
you know, you were able to pull yourself out of it. And that shows incredible strength from you. Um, if it wasn't for X or Kit, I wouldn't have met you. I wouldn't have met
Hmm.
Matt Collins or Greg or D. And,
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that, you're my host for Pro Wrestling Talk. I didn't think I was going to get 3 shows, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no.
But it's been a fun ride the whole time because I'm with
Yeah.
friends and people who understand me and we have a lot in common. Um, and we're kicking it, every day. We're just totally killing it. It's all worth it. And,
Yeah.
and these wrestlers, they were kicking it too, but they also, you got to think about how much tremendous pain they were in. Jumping off of a top rope and landing a certain way, you can twist an ankle or a knee, or, I mean, like I
Yeah.
said, in this newest episode with Beefcake, Curt accidentally hits his nose by accident, and there's blood coming down Beefcake's nose.
Hmm.
Now I took that out for YouTube. I had to edit my YouTube one.
Yeah.
But on
Mhm.
Rumble, if you want to hear the unedited version or the uncensored version with theme song, it does have the theme song. You can check that out on my Rumble. It's Curt Hennig was the best, changed my mind podcast. All you have to do is put that in the search field, and you should be able to find it. So I just think that a lot of these guys did whatever to numb the pain. Some of them didn't have nice family lives. I know Curt was kind of,
Yeah.
not having. I mean, he lived for his children, but he had not a good relationship with the ex. So it was kind of on again, off again, and then finally it just came to a head. He wasn't wrestling. He had been let go from WWF. From the plane ride from hell, which we will get to. And Kit, you have to come on for the plane ride from hell.
I will be on with the plane ride
Yeah.
from hell, but just a quick reminder, folks, that this one might have to be only a Rumble exclusive because we can't tiptoe around the words around it the whole
Right.
time, and
Yeah.
unless you want to put beep the whole time, that'll be a little extra editing,
Beep.
because
If
it
it's
is.
on, if it's on Pro Wrestling Talk, we go live, and that's
Yeah.
not gonna
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the very least, we can talk about some of the stuff that, I mean, we're going to talk about what happened with Flair. We're going to talk
Mhm.
with what happened with Dustin and Terry Reynolds, and of course, what happened with Brock and Curt. And I think, honestly, my perspective is that Curt and Brock, well, Brock didn't get any punishment. Curt got
No,
the
he
brunt
didn't.
end of all of that. He
Yeah.
got blamed for everything that happened on that plane, and that was not fair. Him and Scott Hall, though Scott Hall was fucked up. I mean, even on the plane. But then, of course, he goes and blames Curt and says, "Oh,
Yeah.
Curt roofied me." I'm like, dude, shut up. Curt wouldn't
What?
do that.
Yeah,
First
he
of
did.
all.
He blamed
I mean,
Curt for it.
yeah, he blamed Curt for it, that he was fucked up on that plane and was trying to lick a stewardess. So there is a dark side of the ring of the plane ride from hell. So please check that out. You can find it on Daily Motion. Usually you can find it for free.
Yeah.
If you want to watch it on Vice, I think you have to have like Xfinity or Spectrum or something. You could also watch it for free, but they may have it for ads. I wasn't able to get it to work on Vice, so I just watched the Daily Motion one. For homework, everyone needs to refresh themselves. So please watch The Dark Side of the Ring, Plane Ride from Hell. Really, the Sandman, all it made me think was, this is the business. This is the wrestling business. He was a typical wrestler out there with injuries, still killing it. He literally left the hospital and was doing, all these crazy bumps and stuff and going through tables and stuff, even though he was hurt. The daughter makes we didn't know how hurt he was. He needed several surgeries throughout that time in ECW because he had screwed up his legs and his knees and I think he screwed up his back too. So there are things out there that unfortunately the wrestling business is known for, and one of them is, yes, they did abuse painkillers, but that's because Big Pharma marketed that to them, saying, oh, you won't have pain if you take this or take that. So the Salmas were muscle relaxers, and they were big on that. You know, if one was good, two was better. 3, 4, 5, you know, and Sherry was up to 10 at one point. So, and you could tell because on Salma's, you know, she was kind of like a walking zombie, you know, and they marketed these things towards wrestlers. And that's what pisses me off the most about Big Pharma, because none of those bastards will ever see jail time for what they did to our wrestlers, the wrestlers that we enjoyed. So like Brian Pillman Jr., Louis Piccoli, he OD'd. Even with Rick Rude was an accidental OD. You know, there's just all these things that led wrestlers to end it all, so to speak, or it was an accidental overdose because they were mixing alcohol with painkillers, and it's a big no. You shouldn't do that. I honestly just wish they would all smoke weed. Really, the weed would have been better for them. I'll tell you what.
It would have been, but the thing is, like, you know, when you're on the road, you got to have that energy, and
right. So they would take uppers.
The short
sleep
fix
they would
was
take downers. Yeah.
Which is not good. So folks, always take care of your body and treat yourself properly. Your body is your body is your temple. Treat it properly.
Yes. So in retrospect, I did like this Dark Side of the Ring. I thought it was because I mean a lot of these Dark Side of the Rings, there's not the people who end up you know, ODing, or Junkyard Dog got into a car crash because he was on something, and he went like, you know, several days without, you know, through driving, and his daughter ended up passing away because she had a heart defect or something. So a lot of these wrestlers that they talk about on Dark Side of the Ring are not as fortunate as Sandman to have outlived the business and overcome it. So I think in many ways he's very blessed. I know he says he's very blessed today. He's overcome his demons. But a lot of what he did, he's not sorry it happened, and he would do it again if he could do it, you know. But I mean, he seemed like a nice guy. I kind of felt for him because he is like the retrospect of the business, that the boys were always in pain, or they were always injured, or you know, they tried anything they could to, you know, come back and be at the top of their game. You know, I just recently read that article that I found on X where Curt says, you know, I hurt myself in football and I wasn't able to go the way I wanted to. So wrestling was the next best thing. And so Curt went into wrestling and became the greatest wrestler to ever live, in my opinion. So we love you, Mr. Perfect. You were one of a kind and awesome. Now, they may do a Dark Side of the Ring with Curt because of the whole coke thing, but even if they did, I don't think it would be as bad as most wrestlers would think, because Curt didn't do coke a lot. He did it a couple times to try it, but I mean, it wasn't like a major thing in his life. He was more on the painkillers, and he would have the Percocets, and then of course the Jack Daniels. Not a good combination.
Oh no!
But at least it took the pain away for some time.
Temporarily, but
temporarily,
folks,
right?
Stay away from that stuff. It ain't worth it,
right?
You know, and curses upon you, Johnson and Johnson.
That's
1,000
right.
curses upon Johnson and Johnson.
And Big Pharma, curses upon you and your houses. So we're gonna wrap this up with thanking everybody for coming. Again, I wanted to do this for Kit and Angel because you guys are my ECW guys. And it was nice enough to actually follow through with the kilt. Remember, Kit, real men wear kilts. That was Roddy Piper.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
It's
check
actually
Kit
pretty
out.
comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, now he's gonna wear it all the time because it's really
Well, no, not all the
comfortable.
time. Like, no, this was only a special thing. Only special time.
So let's get Kit to 100,000
You do.
subscribers, and if we do, we get it for a whole month. Though he does get weekends off. We'll give Kit
Yes,
a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking like, oh, geez, I gotta do it 7 days. Like, oh,
No.
Just for this time, just to getting to 50K. So once
Yeah,
we get
just
to
to get
100K,
yeah.
now it's a whole month, but you get the weekends off. We'll give you
Get
a
the
break.
weekends
Yeah.
off. Yes,
You get the weekends off.
great.
But
Good stuff.
Kit, tell me where tell our audience where we can find you, basically.
Well, first of all, Hard Lens Media. We are an independent media network.
Here in the city of Chicago, we are live every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Central on YouTube, Rumble, Rockfin, Odyssey, and Kick. We have our Patreon link. We have our Discord. We're on Instagram, the Facebook, and the Twitter. And we also have a show on Can TV, Channel 21. And as always, I'm very happy to collaborate with Ms. Witchy Perfect. And to think, when we were really communicating, your channel would explode to now 42,000 beautiful subscribers. Job well done. Keep at it.
We're at 42,441 subscribers.
Good. Very good indeed. As you should.
As we should. Yeah, please give Kit a like, follow him on Kick. He's at 60 followers on Kick, yes?
Yeah, 65. This close to 1 million. This close to 1 million.
This close. We're so close. Yes, so help him out as best you can. Share his stuff, get it all over the place. I even quote you. I'm like, so let's do the next segment of the day.
Oh yeah.
Whereas on my show, I'll catch you on the flip side.
Good.
Angel, where can we find you?
You can find me in the link in the description box below. Seriously though, I'm Angel in the Afternoon. You can search Angel in the Afternoon on YouTube. And I'm close to 300 subscribers, so subscribe.
Yeah.
And yeah. And I also host Pro Wrestling Talk with Miss Witchy Perfect, who is up there with you, every Saturday night, 8 Eastern. And I host Angel in the Afternoon every Friday afternoon to 7 p.m. Eastern. Or technically it's evenings, but, we call it afternoons because I can't do it before then because I work. But it's 7
I
p.m.
work
Eastern.
too.
It's 7 p.m. Eastern, which is technically afternoon in the West Coast, so we'll say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, those links in the description box below. And I want to thank everybody for supporting me and watching me. And, thank you.
And he's got some great tips. Great. I love what. Well, first of all, let me just say I found Kit through Jimmy Dore. You were on Jimmy Dore's show, and I was like, it was just by accident that I said, I'd like to have Kit on my show, and he's like, yes, I'm coming on. I'm like, wait, what? What did he say? He said yes. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to get in front of a camera. So we got it together. We did it, and it's been uphill ever since then. Mastermind was talking to me. He said, I was talking about you to Angel. I was like, oh, all good things, I hope. What the hell did I do? He goes, yeah, he wants you to be a co-host. He wants to ask you about pro wrestling, being a talk show or something. I was like, wait, what? Really? He wants to talk about wrestling? Okay, yes.
Yeah, I was shocked.
Like, well, you're gonna have to talk to, you're gonna have to talk to him. I'm like, well, I will. So if it wasn't for Kit, I wouldn't know you, Angel. I wouldn't know Matt.
But you did the work. You did the work.
You are so awesome, and that's why I wanted to bring you on here, because this is like so overwhelming for me that I can't. I almost want to cry every time I think of what you've done to help me and help this channel. Now I have 3 shows. I have the Curt Hennig podcast, and then of course I have the Pro Wrestling Talk with Angel. And on Monday or tomorrow night, we're gonna do Black Magic Talk with Matt Collins. He's my co-host. We're actually going to do everything about the tarot. So we're going to show our tarot decks.
Let me just say this to you. I do appreciate the comments. Thank you so much. I'm glad you listened to some of my advice. But here's the thing. I pointed, I gave some advice, I sent some messages, and obviously it was up to you at the end of the day to do your own follow through. And that's what I'm really impressed by, the fact that, okay, you listened and then you turned it into your own thing, as you should, and you're able to make this wonderful channel. I'm always happy to be here. So there you go. 3, 2, 1. You did it.
I would kiss you if I didn't have a man. Okay. And if I was in Chicago. So we're also going to talk about Black Magic Talk. I just bought these. So they are rune stones. You can see that symbol there. So we're going to talk tarot and rune tomorrow with Matt Collins. We have a free because he knows a whole bunch of authors who are also like Wiccan pagans. So we're going to have a bunch of authors on after that, but we have a free week, and I have several decks here. So I have the Modern Witch deck, which I just bought, and then of course I have the old Modern Tarot, and then I also have like a Wiccan Tarot deck too. So that will be on Black Magic Talk, and we're gonna record that at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it will be dropped on Tuesday. So follow me on Rumble and also on YouTube, Black Magic Talk Podcast. I have 10 followers on Rumble because Matt Collins is freaking awesome and has his author friends, and his friends follow me. They also follow me on X. There is an Black Magic Talk X if you would like to follow me there too. All you'd have to look up is Black Magic Talk podcast. I have a podcast for Curt Hennig. It's Curt Hennig Podcast and Pro Wrestling Talk. So you can look that up on X as well. I'm really overwhelmed by how much support I've gotten. And again, I would kiss you, Kit, if I wasn't happily in a relationship and married.
Well, look. Point is, kick-ass show, and everyone should subscribe right now. Do it now.
Do it now. Yes. So I'd like to thank everyone for coming. I'd like to thank my hosts or co-hosts, Angel Riviera down there. And I'd like to thank Kit Cabela, who's over here. There we go. Over there. And like I said, check us out, give us a like, a follow, share our content if you can. Because we love doing this. This is what we love to do. I know I love doing a show every week, and even if I have to kind of edit it for YouTube purposes, it's still well worth it. That so many people like to hear what I have to say about Curt Hennig or about the Sandman or about anything. So again, give us a like, a shout out, or whatever you can. Like us on all these platforms, and we'll see you guys later. So nobody beats Mr. Perfect. Nobody.